Welcome to Armchair Expert. I'm Dan Rather, and I am not joined by Minister Mouse because she is in transit home from Georgia, where she was enjoying the warm embrace of Ashok and Nimi. And Neil, Happy New Year, 2023. This is going to be epic, as you'll learn about in the fact check. It is also my birthday today. I'm turning 48. Couldn't be a stronger, more even number. It is so robust in its evenness. It's going to be incredible. We have a wonderful guest today, and it is a ding, 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 because last year, our first guest of the year was Dwayne Wade. And now this year, our first guest is his lovely bride, Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union is an actor and a producer from Bring It On to Bad Boys 2, LA's Finest, Breaking In, Cheaper by the Dozen. She has a new movie out now, a beautiful film called The Inspection. And she is, of course, also in Disney's Strange World, which is out now. Gabrielle's a gangster, the only person we couldn't fool on Punk'd. Please enjoy Gabrielle Union.
He's an armchair expert.
M&Ms make me cough.
Yeah.
Because that happened during
like the little shards get caught in your throat.
Yeah.
I would love it if you were just clearing your throat this entire episode.
I turned into you.
That would be nice. Oh, hey. Did you see how quickly she got back at me?
You know
I said,
that
well,
about
it'd be great if
yourself.
you're clearing your throat this whole episode. It turned into you.
My husband's a throat clearer, and I don't know why it incites a level of rage in me every fucking time.
It's real. That noise is real.
He's like, and I'm like, there's nothing even in there.
Yeah, there
It's
is.
just
I
like
just
a
gotta
tick
dig deep.
at this point.
It is a tick. It's a
tick.
habit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's a male thing.
I think it is.
I was just talking to my therapist last week, weirdly enough, about it. I said, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what happened to me. I used to be so indestructible. Now I have to carry tissues around everywhere I go. My nose is running 24 hours a day. I don't know when this happened. I do less and less bad stuff, and I feel worse and worse. And he said, oh, God, yeah, in the morning, I really have to go for it. And I go, oh, my, you should hear what I'm doing in the morning. It's just like, I mean, it's a mess. And I think I'll be in there actively doing it. I'm thinking, poor Kristen, man. I don't know how she cohabitates with me. It's like a grizzly bear's in the bathroom. To be honest, I'm a little shocked your husband does it because I associate with him with some peak physical fitness.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong. I think he had post-nasal drip.
Okay, sure.
And then it went away.
Do you think it's like our suppressed emotions? We're like, we're just trying to get something out.
I think he likes that it kind of clears the room. It makes you lean in because it sounds like he's about to say something really fucking important.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
See?
yeah.
See how...
He's using it as like a palate cleanser. Like, okay, fresh slate. Here we go. Something big's coming. Just
Yeah.
thought of this.
Yeah, lean in.
Lean in.
I'm about to save your life right now.
You know these things you know colloquially, but you don't really know. Like, I think I know what lean in means because I've heard enough people say it, but I certainly didn't read that book, Lean In. And I guess I'm at this point, I'm guessing what that term means. Do you have a real
I
firm
meant, like,
grasp on what lean in means?
I meant it in the most literal
Physical sense.
Oh,
yeah.
Nothing to do with Cheryl. It literally when he wants you to lean in.
Okay.
It's like when people who talk in that low.
Oh,
and that,
yeah.
and you're
It's
like,
a tactic.
It's a tactic to bring you closer, to bring you in,
To help focus you,
or something.
to control you.
To make you
that's what
think
it is.
that whatever it is I'm about to say is super important. Way more important than anything you could say.
Clearly, or you would have cleared your throat. I would have heard you coming.
You know?
This is really fun because the first episode of our 2022 was your husband.
That's really wild.
And you'll be our first episode of 2023.
That's a very
Look at
suspicious
fun.
symmetry,
Look
isn't
at
it?
the weights.
I
Look
know.
at us. Kicking
And-
off the new year.
Love it.
Let me start by asking you, because I had a long period of time where I couldn't stand talking about Kristen in interviews. I was insecure. I'm like, oh, they're not really even interested in me. I'm just a conduit to what things she's doing. That was the first 7 of 15 years. Mm-hmm. And then for the last 7, I'm like, let's talk about her because I'm out of shit about me. I've come to love it. So I guess I just want to check your barometer just out of the gates. Do you hate talking about your husband? Do you love it or are you neutral?
It's either between neutral and I love it.
Oh, that's
I
wonderful.
love it. I think he's so interesting.
I found him to be quite interesting too, because honestly, I had kind of bailed out of basketball by the time he had his reign. And in fact, I just watched that Shaq doc. I don't know if you guys are watching it. Shaquille O'Neal. You know him? He's a really tall
I know
player.
him. I didn't know he had a doc out.
On
There's
HBO.
so many docs.
It's
Got
really
it.
good.
Okay.
It's a 4-parter. And then last episode, Dwayne was heavily featured because he had played with him on the Heat in kind of the last chapter of his career. And so then I was like, I kind of want to go back in time because now I'm really interested in that aspect. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Do you remember meeting me 20 years ago? I got a hunch you don't. And I met you under the most insane situation possible.
No, I just knew that I knew you.
Okay, you ready for this?
Yes.
I'm nervous.
You are the only person in my tenure at Punk'd that
Oh,
didn't fall for the joke. Of the 26 people I was involved with pranking, you were the only person that was like, this is bullshit.
And you guys tried twice.
I was only a part of the enormous satellite dish we put in your front yard.
That was the second attempt.
Okay.
Yes.
There was one prior to that. What was that?
It was a car crash. They tried to fake like my car had been hit or something with my car in a parking garage.
Okay.
And what you guys don't know is that I am psychotic about parking garages. They are the bane of my existence. I have so much anxiety about parking and parking garages and remembering where my car is and all of that. I feel like I came back and either my car was gone or something.
Yeah. Something
And I
was
was
amiss.
like, no.
Okay.
Ashton was trying to save it. And then the more the weird lying starts, that's when I'm like, this is punked. And I think I probably said, this is punked.
Wow.
Well, hold on though. I'm going to put a feather in your cap. You wouldn't have said it was Punk because it didn't exist yet.
In the
So
first
I
one?
was on the first season, right? And no one knew what it was. We shot them all before it aired. So there was no notion of Punked. And in fact, when I would punk people and at the end I'd say, you just got punked, they'd be like, what the fuck does that mean? And it's a show going to be coming out hopefully in spring on MTV. You know, like no one knew what the fuck it was. But I was the person, if I remember it correctly, you were married then to Chris. Is that his last name? Chris.
Yes, the first husband.
And you were somewhere in the backside of the Hollywood Hills, like facing the valley, maybe? You lived Woodland Hills. Okay, great. And it was a curvy street. And the premise was your husband had signed up for like a cable package,
Yes.
not knowing that it was an enormous satellite dish, like the kind you see NASA use.
Sure.
So in your modest front yard, it was in the hills. It's not a big front yard.
No, but you guys put it in my driveway.
Okay, there you go.
You guys put it in my driveway. You know, on a hillside, there's no parking. So that was like the first order of business where I couldn't park.
And what did you think when you saw that? Did you immediately think this is a...
Immediately, I was like,
Prank.
this is not a thing. And then Jamie Foxx.
Oh my God, he was assisting. I forgot that.
Yeah, he was trying to like sell it, but we were having a fight party that day.
Exactly. This was like an upgrade to get the fight.
Something like that.
Yeah. Good memory.
Wow.
And I was just like, well, I didn't put anything past my first husband. But I was like, no.
Wow, your spidey
You're
senses
firmly
are really...
rooted in reality. When you dip out of what could be real, you're like, fuck this.
Yeah, for me, I believe all kinds of shit can happen for literally anyone else. But for me, my life is very controlled and planned and organized.
We are separated at birth because I do believe other people are having ghost experiences and stuff, but I'm not, nor will I ever. There's no such thing as
Oh, I
ghosts for
absolutely
me.
have
But
ghost
okay, that's
experience.
great, and I
Yeah.
know that you do.
Yeah.
But I don't. They're not for me, right?
Well, they know. They're like, he's not open.
There you go.
He's not a conduit.
I'm
Wait, do you
closed.
really have a ghost experience?
Sure.
I want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but it's practical. I respect their space.
Yeah.
I respect that I perhaps am not the first person that has ever occupied a space. And so I was staying at this older house in Jersey. This last one, I mean, I've had a few over the years, but it was an old Airbnb that I was renting in Jersey for this movie. And I walked in, I was like, okay. And I said, hey guys, I'm just staying for a little while and I'll respect your space.
You're
You
announcing
respect
it to the ghost.
I'm announcing
Okay.
this to
Yeah,
the
you're
ghost.
supposed to do that.
Yeah, and just be like, I don't want any smoke. This will be my room and I'll stay in here. I'm not going to mess with you guys. And thank you for allowing me to share space with you.
Okay, God, now that you got us down this path, I have to ask, we did interview someone that shared my opinion. So just if I can defend myself, would you be open to making love to a ghost? And I say that sincerely because it's not cheating, right? Like you wake up in the middle of the night and you're being ravished by some spirit, some entity, and it's feeling lovely. And you go like, oh no, I can't do this. I'm married. And then you're like, but this is a fucking ghost.
I guess I would liken it to porn. If you're watching by yourself and whatever you're watching gets you to a place where you want to
In that-
finish.
yeah.
Some people feel like that is
True.
a violation.
Oh.
So I don't know. I'm also one of those people who's, I'm not going to share any of this with my spouse.
Sure.
Yeah.
None of it.
Right. If you did make love to a ghost
I
at the
would feel
Airbnb
zero
in Jersey,
guilt.
and
Yeah,
you just
I
would
love
be like,
that.
I'm not even going to bring it
I
up.
would just enjoy it. But no, so what ended up happening is I was there for 2 weeks. It was fine, no smoke, light my sage and Palo Santo. And I was like, hey guys. So I'm leaving, I'm packing up, and I'd had all my luggage in one of the rooms, and I'm zipping up my luggage, and I had closed the closet that I had my clothes hanging in. Maybe 2-3 minutes had passed from the time I'd closed the closet. And I go to roll the bag out of the door, and the closet springs open, like suddenly.
Not like slowly creaks, like it's thrown open.
No, like
Oh my
sprung open.
God.
And I was like, all right, well, thanks. And that was it. And I was like, and I'm out.
Oh,
and I was
wow.
like, I don't want no smoke.
That timed out perfectly.
Yeah.
You
If
got
I
the
was in
proof you
Poltergeist, it would have been a very short movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out.
I gotta go.
This is clear.
Yeah. No, I don't want any smoke with ghosts. It's just I recognize their existence
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay, so you believe in ghosts, but you also don't believe there's any way a satellite of that size would be delivered to your driveway.
Nope.
I guess this is also a feather in your cap. So I remember I had forgotten Jamie Foxx was a part of that. But when you say it, I'm like, oh my God, of course. He and I kept going back to this garage. So I was the person delivering all the shitty news, and I had an earpiece in, right? And so I made my pitch. I explained what had happened on the paperwork. This is the package that was signed up for. And the look on your face is like, absolutely not. And so then you walked away, and I know Ashton can hear me because I'm mic'd and I have an earpiece. And I'm like, this is not going to happen. He's like, no, you got to blah, blah. And I'm like, no, let me tell you something. I just looked in her eyes. This is unsavable. I know when someone knows. We made a bunch of attempts, but no, we never, ever got you on the hook.
Yeah.
So I applaud you for that. I mean, it was a bummer
too.
for me because I fucking drove out there to Woodland Hills and I got in a stupid outfit and the whole nine. And we had nothing to show for it afterwards. But I do applaud your skepticism.
I try to lessen the likelihood of bad things happening or things happening out of the ordinary.
Have you always been that way? Or is this something that developed through time?
I'm sure my family would say I've always been this way. I started reading 3 newspapers cover to cover before school, probably like 7th grade. And then it became like a thing to go to the newsstand in Oakland so I could get more international news. Just needing to know information before school started. And no one could touch my newspapers. I would time myself doing the dishes because I felt like there was a faster way and a more efficient way. So I've always been very that girl.
When you know you're approaching your house, presumably you have a button that you hit that opens a gate. When do you start grabbing for that button? How far away from your house? I think this would be maybe a bonding moment.
So I have some PTSD that kind of, depending on random triggers, can just make me not ever want to drive, not barely down the street, right? So oftentimes I am not driving.
Okay,
So
okay.
I have to lean out the back seat
And type in
window
a code.
and put in a code. And every time I have to lean out, I'm like, and this is when they're going to get me.
Oh, okay. So you're never in that position. Because for me, I feel like I'm a bit similar to you in that when I'm about to turn onto my street, I'm still a half mile from my house. I'm like, I got to get that clicker. That's what's next in my life. And I don't want to be 1 second later than I should have been. And to a point where I've said to myself, you've got to stop living 3 minutes down the road because you're kind of never doing the thing you're doing.
Never. I'm always
Yeah.
planning for the next thing.
Yeah. It's kind of a prison, isn't it?
It is. Because
Yeah.
you kind of can't wait for something to be over so you can just get to the next thing that you're supposed to be good at and then get that over with and you can get home and how long is it supposed to take me? And
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
what's
a
the
lot.
sweet spot? Because I have a few. I'm curious what yours are.
my sweet spot of
I'll give you an example. So I love road trips because when I'm driving the car and I'm crossing the country, there's nothing for me to do. I can't do anything. I have to be in that extreme of a situation where I can't actually do anything for me to get out of that headspace. So it's one of my favorite activities. I love nighttime. Nighttime's the greatest for me, right? 10 o'clock hits, like kids are asleep. Ain't no one emailing or calling. And now it's like, ooh, it's Dax's time to not give a fuck. Do you have those zones and can you relate to that?
Yes, I can absolutely relate to that. I love traveling by myself, long flights where there's not a partner, like there's not somebody right next to you who might be inclined to speak to you. I like silence. My love of silence is probably a little problematic. I just love it. And when you have children and a spouse and companies, and silence doesn't exactly get the bills paid, but I love it. I love it so much. And I love silence and being warm at the same time.
Ooh.
So I will sneak out to the backyard when I feel like no one is out there and it could be 110 degrees. And I'm like, perfect. I'm out there sweltering maybe with an animal, maybe, we're down to 3. Maybe one of the older guys is not moving around too much.
We lost one, it sounds like,
no.
recently, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
lost 2 of our senior pets during the pandemic. It sucks. But we got 3
They
left.
got COVID.
I wish it was
Remember when we thought that was a thing, though? At the very beginning of COVID, it was in the paper that a dog got COVID. And it was like, oh, no, dogs can get COVID, too. We got to be careful.
Yeah, well, for those of us who kiss our dogs in the mouth, it's like,
I
oh,
know.
dang it, I've done messed up Fido. But that's my happy place, in the sun by myself.
I like that.
So, I've not experienced it myself, but I had a best friend who had a Korean roommate from Korea. And apparently the Koreans really prize silence. And in fact, their small appliances are different than others. Like they emit 0 noise. And all the appliances in this person's apartment were all the specific Korean brand. I don't know. I'm suggesting maybe you go poke around in Korea. I'd recommend South and just see. Although I imagine the North Korea is pretty quiet.
I feel like it's very quiet.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's just an idea that maybe throw out there for you. Do you have an explanation for this? Do you think you're biochemically, genetically predisposed to be this way? Do you think you had a childhood that made you crave knowing everything so you're not surprised by stuff?
I think as the middle child, I was often in the place of observing and just understanding what everyone needed at any given time and just giving it to them. Yeah. So then I'm never in the line of fire. My dad is very much like military. Everything has its place and this and that and a right way and a wrong way to do everything. And my mom is,
a social worker, loosey-goosey.
Yeah, but I liked the order and I liked the power that he got from having order. And I just always looked at pretty much everything as who's winning in this situation and who's losing. I don't want to be a loser. And then when I got PTSD after a sexual assault at 19, it changed everything. Yeah, it changed everything. Yeah. Then it was like for my survival.
Yeah.
Well, because that was going to be one of my questions. So let me first start by saying I was molested as a kid. It changed my worldview. How much were you like that pre that experience? How much did it change your worldview? Or how much did it confirm your worldview? Because it could also do that. Like, I fucking knew this place was a fucking terrible place.
I kind of only knew my household in that way. But when you are Black in this country, you're raised that you have to be bigger, badder, better just to be even considered in a conversation, to even be considered as close to equal. You just have to be exceptional. You have to be perfect in tone, in body language, in literally every aspect of your life for your survival.
Yeah, you got to make sure you don't make us scared.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and you want to be one of the quote unquote good ones.
Sure.
So when I was raped, there was a conscious thought of, this isn't supposed to happen to me. I'm a good person. I'm a good girl.
Yeah.
And knowing that that kind of violence and evil exists, and it doesn't matter how good of a person you are, it can touch you at any time.
That there isn't justice.
Not any kind of justice that restores you.
And I don't mean justice like that person goes to prison. I mean,
Karmically.
I'm marching forward under the premise that if I'm perfect, nothing bad will happen to me. Now that was broken. That's unjust. This isn't the outcome I deserved. I was doing everything correctly. There's like deep injustice to it if that was the guiding premise for 19 years.
Yes.
How did it change how you moved through the world, or did it?
It changed everything. I never felt safe. Just driving here, I'm constantly figuring out where the danger is, constantly figuring out what are the bogeys. Just even when I'm working in any one of the 800 jobs I have, my first thing is, what are the bogeys? And how do we think about them ahead of time? So if they come up, we are prepared to always have a plan. I remember when you had the Thomas Guide back in the day, and you're going to your audition and you're like, H7. And you're like, but it didn't tell you, okay, I'm trying to turn on this one-way street and there's very little parking and you're not going to be able to park close to where you're auditioning. And I would have to go so early so I could map everything out. And then it became this weird thing where for years I could not make a left-hand turn at an uncontrolled signal.
Meaning you needed an arrow.
I needed a freaking arrow because, I came close at one point. Somebody almost T-boned me and that was it. Now I got to figure out how to get where I need to go without making a left-hand turn.
3 rights, baby.
Oh my gosh. You know what I mean? Like you're literally planning everything out. Where I wanted to sit in a restaurant. I never wanted to sit with my back to the restaurant. I never wanted to go really anywhere where there was an exchange of money because that means you could be robbed. And to this day, I am hyper aware of everything.
Me too. You're vigilant.
Constantly, even when there's nothing to be vigilant about.
The upside of that, in my opinion, the superpower is you can see it in others. So like we had a guest, Machine Gun Kelly. He sat down And I just watched the little nano movements that I do. He just was mapping everything. And there was just a little adjustment phase. And I saw it and it made me love him. Like immediately I was like, I love you and I'm here to protect. Let's do this.
You're safe here.
Yeah. That's a gift that was worth getting for me.
Yeah. The level of empathy and what I mean, sympathy. A lot of people won't tell you, but you know, this is actual sympathy because we've experienced something very similar or the same thing. I give grace a lot more, maybe more than I should. Also, the level of preparation I have for everything. Ordering a pizza. You know who's not going to have to ask me extra questions? Whoever's on the other end of that phone call.
Sure.
Like, it wears me out. These are our dumb fights, but this is why I like talking about them. We'll go to In-N-Out, right? There's literally 5 things on the menu. And he will wait. So he'll say, let me get a number 1. And they'll be like, is that all? And he'll say, no. I'd also, you could also just order everything all at once. Oh my God, why do you do that? Because for me, no wasted language, no wasted movements. If you waste my time, it feels like you're trying to kill me.
Yes.
Because wasted time means you're creating space for something bad to happen.
And can I add, you've also invited this turkey behind the register in on the process, and I don't trust him. So if I don't go up and go, I'll have a number 2, I'll have a number 3, let's go 4 animal style, blah, 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 bingo, bango. The only thing I got to hear from him is the total. But if I go, I'll have a 2, anything else? Yeah, I think I do. Have you ever had our milkshake? You know, I don't want to invite this unknown variable. That's another motive for me.
Yes, it could go anywhere.
The sky is the limit. People are unpredictable and they're weird, and who fucking knows?
Yeah, that's why I don't answer the phone. Chelsea has to call me. And Chelsea, I'm indicating my friend and publicist here. Yeah. You better text me. Don't free call me. Like, I don't answer the phone for anyone. They could be asking for anything.
Don't raw dog me with a random
you
phone
better
call.
Text me put it in writing, because people have to think more when they have to write it down, and they're not going to ask you all the things.
When you're at In-N-Out and you're angry, are you also jealous that he can operate in the world like that?
No. It's such a waste of time, of everyone's time. That man's time who's just trying to punch in and get home, and our time. I just want to eat in the car, you know what I mean, and talk smack.
But it's exhausting, isn't it?
I don't know any other way.
Right.
I don't clock it. I recognize that there are points like right now where I'm like kind of at the end of this long run, and I am literally saying I have nothing left. My cup is empty, and it's never been quite this empty. Times have just changed everything.
So what I love about this format is there's no pre-interview. For people behind the curtain, you go on Colbert, you've been on the phone with the segment producer, you've pitched them 8 stories, 3 of them are false, you're out of stories. They call you a day before, we pick these 3 stories, these are what you're going to tell, you're all prepped. Does this give you anxiety? Like, we have no fucking clue what we're going to talk about. You haven't been a part of this process at all.
I guess yes and no, because it could go anywhere, right? But you're not a gotcha person, so I don't have that kind of anxiety. I guess if I was doing, I don't know, someone's show that I just don't have any respect for,
right?
How
do you
they
respect
move.
us?
I respect that you aren't gotcha people. Okay. You're actually trying to have conversations.
Rob, bring him in. Chris!
My ex-husband. Your ex-husband has something to say.
And ironically, the first time you met, he was trying to get you.
That is true.
But you didn't remember, thank God.
Right, thank God.
Okay, another question, because I love this. How much of your day is having a argument you know is coming in the future and planning for everything that'll be said and then your responses to such, and just mapping out, playing out the entire confrontation that is inevitable, only to find A, half of them don't happen. B, when they do, like the person, well, I didn't think of that. Like, that's weird. That's their take on. Do you spend time mapping out potential confrontations?
Yeah, but more of like with the world. So if I say this and they say that, what are you going to say? I have whole conversations when people are like, she's so witty. And I'm like, no, I've thought about this shit. It's like my whole life has been in preparation for I wish a MF
You're not
would.
Improving. You're reading from the script you wrote in your head
That
years
is in
ago.
my head. No, I got this stuff down. So I live in a place of, I wish it would happen to me. When I see things happen on a plane, I'm like, this is what I live for. I wish there was an unruly passenger because I am so prepared. When racist things happen, it's not even like things that they're really conscious of. They never try me with that stuff because I am so prepared.
We would be the worst couple in history. Can I tell you that? We would be the worst. Me too. I am prepared. And almost when it happens, I feel like, oh, I wasn't wasting my time. Thank God. It justifies my existence, my identity.
No, I'm one of those people who plan for the zombie apocalypse. I plan for literally the worst case scenario in any situation. In any situation, I have to be prepared.
Yeah. I'm so grateful to have someone in my life who actually thinks everything's going to work out at all times and that everyone that comes up to her has good intentions. I need to see an example of someone living that way to prove to myself there is another way. And I need to aim more in that direction.
That
Does
is my
Dwayne
spouse.
serve that?
Yeah. And I don't know how, with how he came up. He is so hopeful. Not only is the glass half full, it is spilling over. And I'm
It
like,
runneth
sir,
over.
there are cobwebs in that glass. There's not a drop of water in there. And he's like, it's an oasis. He just looks at life very differently. When he springs out of bed, you remember in Willy Wonka, the original, when Grandpa Joe, when he gets the ticket and he flings his legs out and he like is
Grandpa Joe.
That's how Dee gets out of bed every morning at like 5 a.m. ready to tackle the day.
Ready to enjoy all the bounty coming his way.
Oh, he loves it. He really enjoys life because I was prepared.
Yeah.
You know, I read up on all the athletes retiring and there's going to be this transitionary period. And I guess he did the reading too because
He hit the ground running.
that. Yeah, he's not that.
Yeah, they're supposed to get really depressed because they no longer have purpose. They no longer have their community. They no longer have all the things that make people happy. But he was fine.
Yeah, I think if anything, he might have struggled during playing. He lost a lot of love for the game when the business of it all becomes very apparent. So retirement was like freedom.
Yeah.
I remember he was doing this interview with Rachel Nichols in our house. And I was sitting on the stairs listening, like eavesdropping. She said something like, well, what's next? Or how do you prepare or something like for his upcoming retirement? And he was like, therapy. And I was like, when, Sway? Because, listen, I've been a full-time proponent of therapy. I think I started therapy like 4 or 5 days after I was raped. So I'm all about therapy, 30 years strong. But he had been like, nah. And so when I heard him say that so easily and so casually, and he said, no, I'm going to need help. I was like, well, maybe it just took someone else having the conversation. But he was just ready. He was ready for whatever the adventure of the rest of his life was going to be.
With optimism and
Yeah, and I'm like, well, we got to think about the 401k. Like I was very...
74% of professional athletes are bankrupt within the first 6 years of retirement.
I'm taking on, every job I can because I'm like, it's a matter of time.
Yeah, TikTok. And so have you felt that you have incorporated some of his spirit? I'm nearly unrecognizable than I was 15 years ago. Like everyone was trying to pick my pocket. I think only like half the people now are trying to pick my pocket. It's a huge change.
You can see it the most when we're traveling because how most people turn to the wife and the wife has all the documents and all the itinerary and the things. He is that. He has the passports. He has, and to give up like a legal document. To give him my visa, my passport, trusting him that someone else could take care of me better than I could take care of me or just as well.
Or guess what? Maybe just differently.
In a way that I didn't even know I needed it. And it's always worked out. And that took a lot. But just getting comfortable with it. And now when they come to me, I'm like, see, that's misogynistic. Why do you think the wife has all the... I'm like, no, my husband has all the paperwork.
That's interesting. I too have that role in my family. I got all the passports and shit.
He has like a little passport holder. He's like that guy.
He's got a fanny pack.
I like
Well,
that.
And he loves
mostly
it.
he just wants to wear a fanny pack for the fashion statement, and now he needs to stuff it or he's a poser. So he's actually got to carry
There's some
shit.
really cool
Yeah.
fanny packs out there.
He's got all
Stylish.
of them.
I'm sure he's got all of them. I don't want to get bogged down in this, but like when I see him on Instagram, which I didn't follow him until I interviewed him, and I just genuinely liked him a lot. Monica too. We're pretty bowled over by him. So then I started following him and I was like, what percentage of his life is about those outfits? And I don't say that mean. I'm just saying like the motherfucker has never been seen in the same thing twice. Every one of them's a showstopper. What's the infrastructure by which I would need to look like him all the time? Is it deep?
It's deep. And I think, well, it's deep. And then like part of it is kind of sad. Like he legit loves fashion and he loves being creative and expressing himself
It's
through
his art.
clothes. But also his teachers had to wash his clothes.
Yeah.
There were, because they didn't have a washer and dryer at times and not being able to bathe because maybe the water got cut off and feeling dirty and
There's a
that
huge
kind
thing in the
of
Black
thing.
community about cleanliness.
It's poverty
Yeah.
and not having money for clothes and having to wear your older siblings' hand-me-downs that have holes in them and getting clowned for having holy things and never having like the best sneakers or the best of anything.
But the cleanliness of the sneakers is on another
The cleanliness
level.
of the sneakers and just how you have to move through the world if you don't have the necessities.
Yes.
And so now the man takes all the showers and he's all about like
How many
Fred
times is he
Your
bathing
water
a day?
bill is so
oh,
high.
it's not even funny. Don't get the LA Times started on that. Which was erroneous, by the way.
Oh, wait, I'm just
Wait, there's a
remembering something.
real
Were you in
thing?
trouble for watering or something?
They included us, but they were in the middle of reassessing our property and they got it wrong. And there was no
I know, because
retraction.
people don't understand this. This is so weird, too. I was talking about a friend that doesn't live in California. So in most states, or a lot of states, they actually measure how much water you use. But that's not how it works here. DWP, they guess. They make a guess at what your usage is going to be over 3 months, and then you pay that, and then they only come out once in a while to find out, and then they correct it. But they're constantly just modeling out what they think you're going to use.
Well, they had no idea that our house is a working house. We have full staffs there. People have to pee. They're going to flush the toilet. People need to
Yeah.
wash their hands. And they underestimated the size of our home. They underestimated who all was in our home and never asked.
Sure.
And then they just said that we were abusing water and it was a burst pipe in our pool and it became this thing that we're
Oh my
water abusers.
So Hollywood.
We
It
literally
is.
turfed our entire home when we bought it. We did everything. There's not even
Yeah,
sprinklers. So we were like, we're not those people. And then they were like, y'all right. We actually got this wrong.
They're allowed to write a story about people's personal
Well,
water usage?
Yes.
You know,
water
us
abusers.
liberals live on the shame campaign. So we're
Yeah.
just always trying to sniff around and find out what we can expose you for.
Listen, and I'm all about shame, but get it right. And there's plenty of things I should have shame for, but not our water usage.
Well, you know, it's funny. The only reason I know about it is that we just put grass in. I had a friend come over and he's like, you can't put grass. I'm like, why can't I put grass? Didn't you see Gabrielle Union? And like, I only know that because you were the cautionary tale for why I shouldn't have grass.
Yeah, and we have turf.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had turf at the last house. It gets so hot, you can't really walk on it. It's
Well,
kinda,
we got the.
you got some
Nice.
fancy
We're like
ones.
turf.
You got
experts
turf
at
that
this
you
point.
water to keep it cool.
Because previous turfs have been hot for the dogs.
Yes, too
Yeah.
hot.
And so
They're
we
hot.
had to find the kind of weather resistant, self-cooling. There we go. For our animals and people alike.
Yeah.
Oh my
You know,
goodness.
because we care about the environment.
Yes. And it'll be solved on an individual level. Believe you me. It's not going to take an institutional policy. It's going to be you.
Yeah.
It's the car you drive, you're ruining the world.
That's like another teeny tiny example of I planned for this. I did everything right. I planned everything, but I'm getting called out.
Yeah, erroneously.
sucks.
And when people acknowledge there was a mistake, there was no correction. It wears me out. And my friends make all the jokes. Like,
If you were
because
my
it
friend,
drives
I
me
would
crazy.
fuck with you so bad over this. This would be
They fuck
endlessly
with me
funny
about
for you.
everything, but the water thing is like, because they know like we are psychotic about
Yeah,
like
yeah,
water
yeah.
usage.
Oh
And
my
so
God.
yeah, that's where the madness comes in for everything. Where you plan, you spend the money, you do
Yeah.
all the things, you're a good person, and then life happens, and you're always going to be the villain in someone's story, whether you've earned it or you haven't.
Yeah.
So true.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Really quick. How many showers a day? Just one a day for him?
Now, a half one. No, it's-
With recycled water.
no, we're on the road a lot, but like when we're on vacation, multiple.
Oh, that's the best, by the way.
Multiple
Because my
times.
wife is very, very water conscious. My favorite thing is when we go to our friend's house in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and their water is so delicious. It's out of a well. It's just coming off of those mountains, right? It's so yummy. And then they have a septic tank, right? So it just goes back into the ground. And so I was brushing my teeth and I had the water on and I had the audacity not to turn off the faucet while I was brushing. And she came in and she turned it off and I turned it back on and I said, baby, we're good here. It's just a cycle. It's endless and we're good. Enjoy. Turn the fucking taps on. Have some fun. It felt crazy that we could use the tap water that way.
Because when people come over, you know, our families are from out of state.
Yeah, they don't get it.
You can hear them in there.
Yeah.
Just running
brush,
the water.
brush,
and I'm
brush,
like,
brush. Panicking in the hallway.
yeah.
Yeah. How do I not get involved? Do you have to really police yourself from not micromanaging people around you?
I do it.
You're
know.
who you are.
And I don't want to say they appreciate it because I doubt that is correct.
Yeah.
But they understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're like, if this really makes you feel better and it allows you to move through the rest of your day, by all means, rearrange the t-shirts in my closet because I need order.
Okay. I have this one thing I check myself on, which is I had a stepdad. I had several that I hated, but one in particular who was so anal. He was an engineer. He was a marathon runner. He was you times 3. I mean, he just was, and living with him was absolutely insufferable. Just knowing that he was peeking at you at all times to see what you were doing wrong, what was inefficient, what was wasteful, what was dirty. It was miserable. And sometimes I yell these random announcements. They're not even at anyone else. Just like, hey, don't wring the sponge out. It starts smelling really quick. I just yell that in the house, right? Because as you know, if you don't wring that sponge out, the water makes it stink like shit. Do you know this about the sponge?
Well, luckily, my father, like me, thought when I was in college at UCLA and I had my little apartment in North Hollywood, he was like, you know what you do when you need more bubbles in your dishwater? You just do this.
Oh, shake your hand around, stir it up.
And that just brings the bubbles back. And I was like, well, shit, Dad. I mean, had you not been here for this moment, I would have never pieced this all together. But he had very distinct thoughts about sponge usage versus a wash rag versus a chamois.
Oh, chamois
are you familiar with
magic.
chamois?
Oh, I washed cars for 14 years of my life.
He had a love of chamois.
They're magic.
That I didn't think anyone else knew about chamois and the correct way to dry off the hood of a car, or the correct way to, your dad or whoever had to mow the lawn. And then you had to transfer the clippings into the garbage bag. And my dad would make us put our arms in the garbage bag like a big square like this. Yeah. And you had to turn your head like this. And then he would dump it in there. And then
hold your breath.
Yeah. And then if you dared move your arms, it was a whole thing.
If you destroyed his perfectly thought out system.
As a parent, but more so as a step parent, because I was a step parent first, and I have a step parent.
What age did the step parent enter the scene?
Well, legally, or, I think she showed up long before.
Sure. Well, yeah,
she was
sure.
legally able to be there.
But when she was officially stepmom, what age were you?
I was graduating from college. My parents got divorced after almost 30 years. Their divorce was official June 1st. They got married June 9th.
Wow.
Okay, so they just met on a Tuesday.
A lot happened in those 8 days. My God.
So, yeah. But she had an idea of I needed mothering. Like I didn't have the world's best mom.
At 21, you needed mothering?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it was like, stay in your lane.
Right.
I have a mom.
That's
so
right.
as a step parent, I was always very much stay in your lane. They have a mom. Don't ever get that screwed up. Be a consistent adult in their lives that just kind of reinforce the rules of the household. So I always was very clear about not imposing my thing on them. You know what I mean?
That's complicated. Can I just say, I hated all my stepdad. Oh, no, I loved my last one. And they were together for a long time. And he did it right. He was the only one that did it right. He had no advice for me. He just was a nice guy. Never tried to parent me. I always told myself that's what I would do. I dated a girl with a kid. What I didn't plan for was I fell in love with the kid. Now I care about the kid. Now I don't like some of the decisions that are being made. And I fucking now care about the kid. I'm like, I was not prepared for this. And yeah, now I can't sit on the sidelines. I love this person.
Well, the way I would step in would be with school stuff, with going to administrators, the older kids, their boys. It went from, there's the cutest little black boys to they're menaces. Yeah. And they were being over-disciplined and the corrections weren't equal across the board. And so of course, this is when my anal retentiveness, I would bring bar graphs, books, articles, bibliographies, reference pages, and I would deal with the school. Yeah. And I would sort of act out my love and care through
advocating on their behalf.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
And being like a sports parent.
Do you know young black men are seen as much older than they are societally?
The adultification of black children.
Adultification of black children, yeah.
I always kind of made sure that there was plenty of space for their mother to do her thing.
Yeah.
But as Zaya got older, that space was just not filled. So then it was like, okay, I can move into a different lane maybe.
Yeah.
I had to relearn what it is to be a parent because my dad was like, you're going to do what I say. You're who I tell you you are. And I'm right about everything.
Yeah.
So this is who you are.
Just ask my subordinates in the military.
Exactly. It was like, you're the athlete in the family. You're smart and you're the athlete. And so we all kind of had our identities in our house. And I knew that was not going to work in this scenario. I am constantly policing myself to make sure that I am allowing for there to be space and freedom for them to be who they are without my micromanaging every single thing. Now, did some of that maybe pass on? Are there color-coded charts all over our house? Yes. So in case we're gone, anyone can step in and the kids can't get over on you because there's charts and you can be like, okay, it's 2 p.m. Thursday. This is where you're supposed
My
to be.
ass, you're supposed to be playing Nintendo.
Yeah. So Kav believes everything has a place and order, and so does Zaya, and she's a self-starter. And I'd like to think that that was a bit of my stamp.
Yeah.
You have that too. You feel like you got that from your stepdad, even though
Well, that's
you don't
the weird
like
thing. He
it.
gave me some qualities I'm happy to have.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I do hear myself, and I basically say to myself, oh my God, you're being Rick. And once I acknowledge I'm being Rick, I can shut it down because I hated it. It was so unpleasant to be around with someone who was so fucking perfect all the time. It was oppressive. I couldn't stand it. All right. You left Nebraska at what, 8?
Yeah.
Do you have strong memories from Nebraska?
Yeah. So out of the 3 girls, for whatever reason, I was the only one that got sent back every summer from 8 to 18.
To see what, grandparents or something?
I stayed with my grandma.
Okay.
My grandma also had custody of some of my other cousins. So we would just all be there together and had the best adventures of my life. So my tie to Omaha is probably greater than my siblings. The north side of Omaha is predominantly Black, and that's where the majority of our family lives. So I would spend all summer without transportation. Like no one had a car in our household. You got around using jitneys, which are basically old people who are friends with your grandparents.
They're like a cab service?
Yeah, basically. Where they would kind of give their number out and you can call them if you need to go to dialysis or the skate land or whatever. So yeah, I would spend my whole summers with my grandma and my cousins.
Now, culturally, how different was North Omaha and the Bay Area where you lived? The area you lived in was like richest mid-sized community in America, 2005, 2007.
That tracks.
So I was wondering, like, I coveted wealth and I have such a sickness around money from growing up with none. And I wondered, in the face of that, I can't imagine on the military salary, you guys were in the upper.
His background was in the military. He became a telecommunications.
Oh,
you
he
know.
did?
Yeah. My dad worked at AT&T. My mom worked at Pac Bell.
Okay. So you guys were upper middle class.
We were probably realistically middle class. We lived an upper middle class lifestyle that we could not afford nor really maintain. There was a lot of debt, a lot of buying things that you couldn't actually afford. And the neighborhoods we could afford didn't give my dad the same feeling of success.
Sure.
So he'd rather be one of the poorer people in this very nice, predominantly white community called Pleasanton, which is exactly how it sounds.
Oh, wow.
And so his kids could have the best. But when you're in that close proximity to wealth, all you feel like is
You're poor as hell.
Less
yes,
than.
Yeah.
always less than. Your
Yeah.
clothes are never quite right.
'Cause
Your
it's
home is
all
never quite
relative.
right.
Like we think of wealth and poverty as a definable metric, and it's not. It's just relative. In fact, this great book, The Broken Ladder, talks about people who feel poor have more predictable negative outcomes than people that are objectively poor. You're probably feeling so poor, even though you're not. Objectively.
Objectively, not at all.
Yeah.
But the center on my basketball team, who was one of my close friends at the time, she got a cherry red 560 SL convertible red Mercedes.
What?
For her 16th drop top, baby. Right when do you wanna ride in my Mercedes, boy?
Oh,
That's what she got for her 16th birthday, and the license plate said for Dan's 16.
Oh,
Not spoiled,
man.
just well taken care of in the license plate frame. And I was
oh my
like,
God.
I looked at that Nissan Sentra that I got in the driveway. I had left that summer, and my dad was like, when you get back, you're going to have a car, right?
Yeah.
I had asked for a Fiero,
There we go.
a Fiero or an MR2.
Oh, damn.
And I come
Sporty.
back. Oh, yeah.
Really quick, Monica,
Yeah,
only rear
I
engine
don't
car
know what
GM
that is.
ever made, the Fiero, looked like a Ferrari, but it was GM's offering of such.
Okay.
Yeah, Pontiac Fiero.
It was cool. It was a cool
Absolutely.
car. I got back at the end of the summer, and they had the nerve to have a welcome home sign and a Nissan Sentra. And I was like,
You're like, there
I
are no
cried.
songs about Nissan Sentra.
No. And I promptly got into an accident. We were cutting, I was a cutter. I mean, I cut school, not myself.
Oh, yeah. I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
we
no,
gotta
no.
pause.
We cut
Go by
school.
that. I was a cutter,
often.
and anyways, we were driving down the road in my Sentra.
No, so we had cut class and we were coming back into the parking lot and we were both kind of parked. And I parked next to Ford Dan 16, this cherry red Mercedes. And I start to like back out because I didn't park correctly. So I'm trying to redo my parking. And I get T-boned. and it sends my car into
No.
my girlfriend's car.
Into Dan's 16?
Into Dan's 16.
Oh my God.
serves her
Not
right.
even a scratch.
On her car.
Because you get what you pay for. My whole car
So true.
crumpled like an accordion.
Oh my God.
And I was like, yes, they won't be able to salvage this. I'll get a new car. And I got a CRX and you couldn't tell me shit.
Oh my God.
That was Monica's first car.
No. A Camry was my first car. It
Oh,
was
when
a
you met you had a
hand-me-down.
CRV.
And then a CRV. Both were hand-me-downs. But that's funny because I just had that realization about the Mercedes because I now have one that was given to me as a gift by Dax.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
It's an AMG.
Very nice. Insane gift.
I'll get you something. What do you want? I'll get you a Fiero. Is that what you want? I'm a
Can
man
I
of
finally
means.
get my Fiero?
Yeah, I'll get
Yeah,
you a
you
Fiero.
Thank you.
But I got rear-ended and I was like, oh no, pulled over. Not even a scratch. And I was just staring, looking for it. I was like, I don't understand.
There's
oh
a
my
Mercedes
God.
force field around it. It
There
comes standard on all
is.
Mercedes.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Wow.
It's a thing.
Okay, do you know I'm a Bruin as well?
I didn't know that. Wait, what year did you graduate?
2000, but I'll tell you, I'm 2 years younger than you, maybe.
I was 96, but I should have been 95.
Okay, and I should have been, I guess, 97. I graduated in 93. I moved here. I went to Santa Monica College. I couldn't pass Spanish, so I went to West LA College where anyone can pass Spanish. Pro tip, if you can't pass Spanish, go to West LA College. And then I started there as a junior. And then I graduated in 2000. So you graduated 96.
96. But I started at University of Nebraska, then went to Cuesta up in San Luis Obispo. It just looked like my friends were having way more fun than me,
Sure.
who stayed in California. So while I was trying to figure out where I wanted to go, I went to Cuesta Community College and I lived with one of my best friends and we just raged.
Yeah. I was up in Atascadero.
What? I know Atascadero.
Yeah, because I had met friends on a road trip in 93 in Santa Barbara and met them at college. And then it was summer and then they all lived in Atascadero. So then we just went and lived with them in Atascadero. So I would have been there, boom, at the same time you just trolling around San Luis Obispo.
Were you doing Halloween in Santa Barbara?
Bet your fucking ass cheeks
And I was right there. I was right there.
The Halloweens were like,
Everything.
okay,
Everything.
what a time to be alive.
When no one was really
No one gave a
documenting
flying fuck
everything.
about anything. Yeah, there was no proof that anyone did anything.
Well, our dumbasses, this is when people were like, I'm going to get a tattoo. And we documented it all. And now, we have kids our age and we've become those conservative, don't deface your body. Don't defile yourself. And they're like, Exhibit A. Auntie Gab sent me this photo of you bent over with your ass out.
Would you eat at Tio Alberto's for
TA,
burritos?
Yeah, well, TAs,
Yeah.
Tacos Acapulco.
No, Tio Alberto's, you get the 3-pound burrito.
Yeah, but I remember they called it TA. I thought it was like Tacos Acapulco, but maybe
I
it
think
was.
it's Tio Alberto's.
Yeah, because I remember they had the. They
It
were
looked like a
famous for their
laundromat.
burritos.
You walk in there and you're like, is this a laundromat? No,
But
it's
the line would be out the door down the
Yes.
street. Yes.
$2.99. You're getting a 3-pound burrito and you're hammered and it's just nothing tastes better.
No, it was beautiful.
Okay, so then you transferred as well to UCLA.
And then I transferred to UCLA.
Okay, because I couldn't have gotten in there out of high school. I thought you had gone directly out of high school. I was like, how on earth did you do that? But maybe you could have.
I mean, no, I absolutely could have. I was
You could have.
a great student.
You were a 4.1 person.
Well, I had weighted classes. And then junior year, I started taking classes at the community college for college credit.
Yes.
Just because I have a photographic memory. So much of school is just regurgitating things.
Yeah.
And my brain basically takes a picture of the page and I can recall where the answer is. They're not actually wondering, do you understand the concepts?
Yeah, you have
Right.
comprehension. Yeah.
None. That part was easy. So I could take on more and more and more. So I was taking 2 and 3 classes at night. And there were a couple of us who did that. So I already had college courses. I was getting A's in.
Yes, in such a hurry.
But you were
Don't
also
look back and just
skipping
go like,
school. You were
fuck.
doing both. You were a rebel and a. How'd you do both?
Because school wasn't that hard for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
You could
it
afford
wasn't
to.
as challenging.
You do what you needs doing, but once you've accomplished that, now you're free to fuck off however you
Well, like when they would give us the syllabus, I would go, oh, okay. And I would get everything done in the first week. And now I have a whole trimester where as long as you're not getting arrested, they don't really care. As long as you show up so they can count you so we can get our tax dollars.
Sure.
Leave, just don't cause a ruckus. Like I had a social studies teacher, Dr. B, who just passed. He was one of my favorite people. He knew that I had a weird thing about going to the bathroom in public, and he would let me drive home and go
In his
drop
apartment.
a deuce. no, to my own house. My own house. It was not far from school. To drop a deuce and then come back. But there was a lot of
Wow.
trust. I was never a troubled kid, but What they didn't know is I was. And I would go to any other school that had black boys because I was like, I'm tired of being the friend. So school wasn't that hard. I did well. I could have gone, but I wanted to go out of state. So I applied to LSU, Florida State, Nebraska, and UNLV. Clearly, there was an agenda.
Yes.
I will let the people take a moment.
Yeah, you didn't. Well, you could have applied to Morehouse, and you missed a couple.
Those were sport powerhouses.
Yeah.
Do you remember the running rebel team of the early 90s and Jerry Tarkanian? I was factoring in the sports environment.
Yeah,
why not like academics?
Do you have an explanation for your obsession with sports? Was it a father-daughter thing?
It was a father-daughter thing. In the state of Nebraska, if you do not know Nebraska football, you don't get to speak. And in my household, if you did not know Nebraska football, you know,
Get the fuck out.
IBAC formation, if you didn't know everything, you couldn't speak. You had to just sit there. So it was something that me and my dad had in common. And
you could
love
memorize
sports.
all the bullshit. Half of it's just that, right?
I love facts and trivia, and my recall is
If
kind
you
of
only
insane.
dated athletes. I only know of 2 people you were with, and both were
Oh,
athletes.
I definitely over-index in athletes.
In athletes.
Yes.
Do you think there's a quality about them that you're attracted to outside of the obvious physical prowess?
Physical phenoms.
Like I look at most athletes, I'm like, they fuck good. I'm sure they fuck good. Look how they move. Look at the stamina. This is a good lay. That must cross your mind as a woman.
I mean, I think it's always the hope.
Sure.
But yeah,
There's a couple giveaways.
Not
dance
all
floor.
athletes are created equal. So
No, true.
you're going to get some duds in there.
But let's just democratize it. The dance floor, great place to get a sense of how good someone's going to be at lovemaking.
Well, no, because
Oh.
my husband inside feels like Usher. He thinks I am Usher. I can do the
Everything.
same moves. Look at me pop locking. And he looks like a broken robot.
Okay, but
And
he's a powerhouse in the rack.
But gets it done.
Yes.
Gets it done on the home front.
Yeah.
But no, I think their lives are so regimented.
That's part of the reason they get depressed afterwards is their whole life has been scheduled and all of a sudden it's like, shit, they got to make the schedule, right?
But also, discipline's hot.
Someone who is
Competency.
disciplined.
Competency's hot.
Yeah. And I've never really dated dum-dums. So I've been more attracted to people who have something to say outside of sport. Kind of like me. I love sports, but also I have a lot of other passions. So I've always been drawn to people who had other things going on, but who are also very good at the sport that they did.
Right. Okay, so we've had, I know football and basketball. Has there been like any swimmers or any, is this like a omni approach to athletics or do you have a few key areas that you're most attracted to?
Football, basketball.
Good. Can I say
Because
why?
that's really more where black men are. Back in the day, though, there probably were a couple baseball players back in the day.
baseball's weird, right?
Well, at the time, there were more black players. Ken Griffey Jr., people who were like, ooh, I want to emulate that.
Yeah, but in Detroit in 92, when I was going to games and into it, we had Cecil Fielder. He was the greatest baseball player alive. He was at least 320 pounds. He was on first base. And I would just look at him and go, this guy's the best in the league. You know, you can look any damn way in baseball, which is a little confusing.
Especially back in the day.
Yeah, people take everything more serious these days, for sure.
There's all sorts of things these days. I was more attracted to more shortstop, third
Okay,
basey
right. Some
type
speed,
of
quick,
physique, second baseman.
quick trigger muscle. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The fast twitch.
Yeah, fast twitch.
Yeah. But,
Okay, we got
but
derailed.
pretty much, you know,
Okay.
basketball, football.
I have
Okay.
a quick question. So if Dwayne's thing is now he has the clothes and can take the showers, what's your thing?
Oh, now?
Do you have a thing like that where it's like, I couldn't have that, I couldn't be that, now I can?
My stuff is so stupid, but it's like grape juice. To this day, grape juice feels so rich and like
Well, it's
rare.
a thick juice.
Well, like it was expensive,
Yeah.
right? And I didn't want the juicy juice, right? Because
Yeah,
juicy juice was
exactly.
$1.99. And
What did you want, Welch's?
Welch's.
Yeah. Okay.
Welch's. I wanted name brand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't want orange drink. I wanted the expensive.
The premium shit.
Yeah. And so the first check I got, now did I buy a Mazda Miata? Yes, I did. And I was like, 13 grand. That was the dumbest thing I've ever bought. But I got so much grape juice.
Yeah. Mine is pizza. Like I was going to UCLA. I was auditioning for 10 years, couldn't get a job, was so fucking broke. And I just would think like, God, if I could order pizza, man, fuck, that would be so good. And to this day, when I order pizza, I'm like, you have got it made. I'll get whatever fucking pizza I want, whatever
Toppings.
topping I'm in the mood for. I think I might want to have half gluten-free and then half fuck it up. I'll get them both. And I'm like, I'm loaded. And it's pizza. That's when I feel loaded.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Did you like UCLA?
I love UCLA.
Me too.
I loved it.
Do you ever
Especially
go-
at that time. There was activism on campus and people were protesting
Too many props in this
It was
state.
when they were trying to overturn affirmative action and then were successful. They were protesting Ward Connolly and the UC Regents, and there were enough minority groups on UCLA's campus that there were thriving communities.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then everyone would come together. And the reasons why they touted UCLA as the most diverse university in the country, I felt all of that. I felt alive. And I felt like I got a great education in what America is. And it prepared me. What was your major? Were you North Campus, South Campus?
Anthropology.
Oh my God. I was a sociology major. Some of my most favorite classes were,
Which ones did you take that you can remember that you loved?
it was the introductory one, basically where they kind of covered evolution. But we started in, what was like Australopithecus afarensis.
Yeah, afarensis.
Yeah. And then it was
Yeah.
like going.
Then Gracile, then even Giganticus.
Yes.
Yeah, so fun.
It explained a lot. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I loved it.
Me too. I was someone who was always suspicious of what I was inheriting culturally.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, like, what's this religion? What's this structure? I just am skeptical of everything, right? And then to actually have it presented to you like, hey, by the way, this thing we've been doing that you inherited is literally 3 seconds of the year-long calendar that humans have been here. All this shit that you're questioning happened 1 second ago. It means almost nothing. I found that so liberating. Oh, this is
awesome.
a damn brand new experiment. And yeah, we should be questioning all this shit. It just started. Look how long we've been here. Look how much stuff I loved that part of it. I love that there's not a right and wrong. There's just different ways. And I loved cultural relativity, that you just learned, you didn't judge. All these things were like revolutionary to me. I loved it.
I was the book buyback supervisor. So I know these classes by numbers, like Philosophy 106, which was like ethics.
Okay.
Ooh.
I was
Those
the
class-
book buyback commissioner, is that what you said?
Supervisor.
Wait, what is that?
So you know when you go to sell your books back at the end
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the, I was the person that was like, this book is now 50 cents.
Oh,
I know you paid
wow.
75 and you were going to tell your parents and you were going to pocket this money, but here's 50 cents.
Oh, wow. What a job.
And then they're like, let me speak to your supervisor. I'm like, that's me, bitch. And
I'm that bitch.
I was like in high school.
Supervisor.
I was the librarian's assistant. Like I'm a laminator. This is,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're in
I have
heaven.
a love of books
Are you a
and words. And
Virgo?
I thought you were about to say, were you a
Scorpio.
virgin?
Well,
Are you a virgin?
No, a Virgo.
This week.
Scorpio.
I like to turn it over. I like to turn back the clock every week.
Sure, hit the reset button.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to deflower me.
Okay,
Scorpio.
Scorpio.
UCLA. Do you ever go back?
2 of my doctors are at UCLA.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I have to go in there kind of all the time.
Yeah.
But it's funny because the parking has not changed. It's the worst.
I rode a motorcycle for that reason. It's like a superpower there.
Figuring out what you had to put on the parking application to get the good parking. And then
That's what
somebody
your
finally
PTSD
gave me
from the parking
gave me.
garages comes from, is the fucking UCLA experience.
Well, things were happening in the parking structure. Remember,
Oh,
it was like
people were
lot
getting raped and
6.
stuff?
Yeah, well, assaulted, robbed,
Assaulted,
all
okay.
kinds of stuff.
The whole
It was like
grab bag.
lot 6, the one that's like closest to Poly Pavilion. I remember one random year I got lot 6 because somebody had given me the secret sauce of what you have to say. And I said it all, I totally lied, and I got lot 6. But I could never enjoy it because I was just so afraid. And so I would park at the top. You could see wide open
It
spaces.
was outside.
And usually by the time I would get off work, it would be darker. I could see if somebody was under the car or around.
And this is after you were assaulted.
This is like a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Wow.
With Zaya, I have campaigned to get UCLA on the list of her schools that she is considering.
You have to have a 4.3 now to get into that school.
She's a 4-point plus
Wow.
in all
Okay.
honors classes.
All right.
She's
She's
that
got a
girl.
shot.
Her first choice is MIT.
Okay.
Dang.
Well, that's
Like UCLA is like, oh, if I don't get into like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's like
Her
the
ninth
consolation
option.
prize
Yeah,
school.
yeah. Worst case scenario, she'll end up at UCLA.
Yeah.
So you knew you were going to be an actor, yeah?
No, oh hell
Oh, you
no.
didn't?
No, that wasn't a real
Oh.
profession. I remember seeing some of the cast of Family Matters. They were all at UCLA at the same time I was. And Mayim,
Mayim Bialik.
Blossom.
Yeah.
The whole
okay.
school called her Blossom. All of UCLA was like, Blossom, she's in your class. No one ever, I think, bothered to get her name correct. Because we're all in the same place. How can that be a real career if we're all in the same place, is kind of how I looked at it.
Right.
I had no idea what actors made. I had no idea what it entailed. It was my second to last quarter, semester, trimester, whatever we have at UCLA. And I was paying for school myself at this point. And I just wanted to have an easy last quarter. And so I was taking 20 units and I wanted 4 more. And someone was like, just get an internship. Just find the easiest internship at the Expo Center. So they had these huge binders of internships and I'm going through it and looking for the ones that offered college credit. And it was like being an office assistant at a modeling agency.
Okay.
I was like,
wow.
how hard could this be? And I became the office help in the kids department of the full service agency run out of this modeling agency called Fontaine Kids.
Sounds classy.
Yes, run by Judith Fontaine.
Oh, very classy.
So the kids side, they had like real working actors. So it was like Jessica Biel, Hayden Panettiere,
Wow.
Shane West. So I was calling in the appointments to their parents and talking to their managers and talking to casting directors and stuff. None of it felt challenging because I would get their sides. I'm like, I'm memorizing sides just because I'm at the copy machine. Anyway, so my internship ended, got my 4 units, and they were like, would you ever be open to being one of our girls? But they were talking about on the adult side. And on the adult side, it was more hustler penthouse car show girls.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I lacked the
The
attributes
assets.
that you needed. Because I remember Tracy Bingham from Baywatch was one of the Fontaine girls.
Okay.
But she was like, this is the success story. And I was like, I look nothing like Tracy Bingham. So I don't know what I could possibly do. So they were like, let's just send you on some go-sees and see what happens. I didn't have a book. I didn't have anything. I was just the intern. So they took a couple Polaroids. They sent me to all the teen magazines. So it was Sassy, Teen, and All About You. And they were all run by the same people. And I got booked.
Get out.
But that first thing, I got booked. And then they were like, okay, well, that was kind of fast. So let's make up a fake resume and send you on an audition for Saved by the Bell, the new class. It was Mistletoe Girl number 2. I think she said one thing. And I booked it.
Wow.
Did you kiss Zach Morris under a mistletoe?
It was the new class. So
no
the only
Zach
people that were
Morris.
remaining were Screech and Mr. Belding.
Okay.
It was all new kids.
All right.
But I watched, instead of being in my little room or whatever, I watched the people who I knew were the OGs, Screech and Mr. Belding.
Yeah.
I watched how they interacted. I didn't know what a mark was. I didn't know anything. I'm just winging it, and I have a photographic memory. And they're like, perfect, you're a thespian. I'm like, I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
But then they just kept sending me out on auditions, and each time I would book something, they would take something fake off. And very quickly, that first year, because I was studying to go to law school, because that's what you're supposed to do. And I was terrible at the LSATs. This was an indication that perhaps, ma'am, this is not for you.
Okay.
And my parents were like, as long as you don't need money from us,
we
do
support
whatever
it.
you want to do.
Yeah.
And that first year, I ended up making more than my parents.
Oh, wow.
In your first year.
But on nickel and
Wait,
diming
what are you
stuff.
saying? You did the same shit.
And my first year out here, I worked at
You
babysitting
booked
and then
like
Soul
10
Cycle.
commercials in 1 year. You're making hundreds of
that
thousands
was
of
like-
dollars as a commercial
That was
actor.
like 8 years in.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Into LA? Don't even pretend. You barely been here
I
8
worked
years.
here
Yeah.
when I was booking a ton of commercials. So it was within 5 years ago.
Delta turns 8 Monday. So 8 years ago,
8
you
years
were in a ton of commercials. Anyways, I'm sorry to ensnare you into
sorry.
that.
No, now I want to know.
She made a
No,
bang.
I did start booking a lot of commercials at
It's
some
like an
point.
insane amount. I was in the Groundlings. If someone had like 4 commercials in a year, you were like, they're a god. And when I met her, I couldn't turn on the TV. She's in every single commercial. I'm like, this is magic. This doesn't happen in show business. This is crazy.
It was the commercials that
I mean,
sent
to
me
be
over.
honest, I want to get back in commercials so I can get my insurance back, my SAG insurance.
I don't want
Oh,
her
that
to.
good SAG insurance,
Right?
that tier 1.
Tier 1.
Tier 1, baby. Tier 1, you
need
get
it.
dental and vision. Listen, there's nothing like good insurance.
I know.
We
Can't
take
put
it
a
for
price
granted.
on it. Yeah,
Do we
yeah.
take it for granted?
That's
It's
right.
invaluable.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Okay, this is so fucking fun. Time is blasting by, and I apologize. You just have to talk about Friends for 1 second, because
We
Monica's
have
like,
to.
that's her religion is Friends. I just, when you got that show,
Was it huge when you got, were you like, this is...
No. At this point, first of all, the show that Black folks were watching was not Friends. It was Living Single, and Friends was
Right.
bitten off of Living Single. So
Right.
had I gotten
That
a
makes
guest
sense.
spot on Living Single, I would have been like, Mama, I made it. But at this point, I had already done 4 movies. They all opened #1 at the box office. I was one of the leads of a CBS medical procedural, and it happened to get canceled in the middle of season 2. Let's say we got canceled on a Thursday. Monday, they were like, do you want to go do a guest spot on Friends.
Yeah.
And they were on a 4-day work week. It wasn't the normal sitcom schedule.
Fake
Yeah.
work week.
Yeah. It was just the next
Yeah.
gig. But I'd never watched an episode.
Oh my
Like,
God.
I knew about them from tabloids, not because I watched the show and had any kind of connection, which is why when I was doing press for something else, I was making jokes. And I said, I didn't know I was the Rosa Parks of Friends. And NBC did not
Love it.
at all. And they went back through all of the seasons. Mind you, I came on like late seasons.
Yeah, no, you were. It was
And
late,
they
yeah.
counted every Black person that ever
How many have there
appeared.
been?
The language that they gave me that they claimed was correct was that I was the first African-American love interest on Friends. And the third person
And you hit
that
the
got
ground
to say
running, right?
something.
because you were two people's love interest
Yeah,
in
you
that
got
episode.
2 for that.
They probably counted
Ross
that twice.
and Joey.
It was like the starter kit because then they just hired Aisha
Exactly.
Tyler to come do the exact same thing the next year.
It was
Okay.
And they're
like,
like,
the
let's just
same.
see if people combust if there's a Black. And then they were like, they didn't. So they're like, Aisha, let's get the one we really want.
Oh my God. No, I mean, you were already a name by the time you were on there. You were a guest star. It wasn't like you just had some random part, but it's exciting for me.
That's for her. For me, of course, I just got to say Bad Boys 2. What you going to do?
What you gonna
What
do?
you going to do when they fucking come for you? What did you do when they came for you?
I was like in heaven.
I mean, come
I was in
on.
heaven.
That's the slickest, coolest
That's so
fucking
cool.
buddy cop movie ever.
But it was wild because the first half of the year I did Cradle to the Grave with Jet Li and DMX. And then the second half of the year I did Bad Boys 2. So it was just like,
Icon.
it was awesome. It was
Yeah.
awesome. I was like, oh, I'm in this bitch. You're on all the lists. And I was like in the middle of the pack in Maxim Hot 100. I'm like, oh, you guys, I'm 48. And I'm like, this is it.
By the way, this is 2003. This is when I come knocking on your door to tell you that your husband fucking got this satellite. We need to get you on Punked. You're the shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what my question about Bad Boys 2 really is. Just, I have to imagine both those boys at the peak of their powers. It just must have been a party. Was it a party?
Well, Martin and I and most of the rest of the cast at that time, yes. There was so much happening in Miami at that time. Denzel was doing Out of Time with my close friend Sanaa Lathan, and then they were doing one of the Fast and Furiouses. The rank and file actors were in hotels like kind
Yeah.
of next to each other. And then Martin and Will were staying in like, mansions, whatever.
Yeah.
But Martin would come and he treated me like a little sister. So he was like, you're not going to go out in this town. I'm going to show you what this is supposed to look like and how you're supposed to be treated and all of this. And it was the best. And then maybe a couple months in, Will was like, okay, that looks like fun. And then he joined in. Because it was like both
He
of
sent Martin in as like recon.
but I think it was like a 6-month shoot. And maybe 2 months in, he started joining the fun. And it was so much fun because we got rained out so often.
Yeah.
So you're just screwing around.
And you're 31.
living the dream.
Man.
Fuck.
Having the time of my life.
Oh,
yeah.
man. Well, that makes me happy because I would hope that that movie was a blast.
I don't know. I was just treated with respect and considered. Usually you get down the call sheet and they're like, I don't care how you make it to work, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck. Why do you want air conditioning? Because I'm like, it's 100 degrees in Miami. But they just both made sure that I was treated well. And that was
That's
kind of
lovely.
awesome.
Really
Yeah.
That's lovely. You were always married during all this stuff.
I was always married, but that first go round,
Okay.
I definitely was not getting Wife of the Year awards.
Okay, good.
I had some focus issues.
Sure. Listen. We had this weird moment. Chris and I were watching White Lotus. Do you watch White Lotus?
I'm still on the first season.
No spoilers.
The point is, we're watching it, and I have this moment, and I go, man, I have so much regret over what I put some women through, particularly infidelity-wise. It's just shameful. It's terrible. So I'm saying this out loud. I'm saying, it's so regrettable and shameful. And I'm sometimes glad I did it. Like, life's short, and it's one trip here. It's complicated for me. I'm glad I took some of the opportunities that came my way. I don't know.
Well, in our first marriage, neither one of us felt like the marriage should get in the way of our dating. And so
Oh my God. That
part of
sentence.
it
you
was
and I
like
are identical. I was in-
keeping up with his activities. And I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, oh, that's what you're doing? Oh, you're going to feel this one. And
Okay.
I just felt entitled to it as well. I was paying all the bills. I was working my ass off. And I felt like that's what comes, the spoils of riches.
Yeah.
And like my dad before me, whoever has the most gets to do whatever the hell they want, is what I thought.
Yes.
And
yes.
it was just dysfunctional from day one.
Yeah. I was in a 9-year-long open relationship.
Oh, so you had like,
I had permission.
Yeah, but maybe not from the girls you were dating. They might have got screwed.
Well, no, I never ever lied to anyone. I'm like, hey, I'm in love with my girlfriend Brie. I live with her. We're gonna have babies. If you want to have a blast tonight, that's an option as well. It was always that way. Now, what I willfully denied is that despite them saying, yeah, that's great, that might not leave them heartbroken or damaged or something else.
I think when you're
There's two ways to look at it,
honest-
right? Like I'm honest, right? But that can also be your justification. So I can be honest with you. I meet you, Gab. Here's my situation. If you're down for that, cool. Yeah, I'm totally down for that. But I can see in your eyes, because I can, you're not really down for that. But I'm kind of skating under the cover fire of I'm honest. But my internal, my ethics know.
I'm hurting
She's
this
going
person.
along because that's all she can have. And it's probably not really that cool for me to do this. Now, there were others that just were horny and wanted to fucking see you peace out. That's great. But there were other people that certainly felt differently. And that bums me out. I have guilt over that.
I wish I had more guilt for some of that. I think it was such a stupid relationship that should have never gotten out of the dating phase.
Yeah.
We were gifted therapy, and the first session, the therapist was like, that's literally what she said. I don't know how you guys made it out of the dating phase.
Wow.
And we should probably look for a way to amicably
Dissolve.
Yeah,
Wow.
because you have not one thing in common. No morals, no values, no scruples. The one thing you both have in common is other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So why don't you just go be with other people?
Oh my
You
God.
guys are identical in that
funny.
you're super horny for other people.
Yeah, well, I was horny for validation.
Yes.
And having certain kinds of guys like me and want me, that made me feel like I was worthy and good and valuable and deserving.
So that's another thing I feel guilty about. So I do have guilt and remorse over the fact that I was hoping that the people I had deemed higher status than me, that if they liked me, I would feel higher status. That never worked. And if I'm painfully honest, I was using them. I was looking to them to regulate my own image of myself.
Yes.
They might have been genuinely in love with me. And then the pattern went, if I deemed you, you're out of my league. Okay? You are. But I bamboozle you and then I get with you. But then something happens. I then go, oh, you must not be as high status as I thought you were because you like me and I'm still a piece of shit. It didn't work. But now you actually love me. But I was trying to, so I have guilt and shame over that because other people along the way were more genuine about it. It wasn't so calculated, but I now recognize that that's what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, yes, I absolutely needed something from them that I was not providing for myself, and neither was my marriage. But I think I provided something for them too.
Well,
Guys can
it's-
be just as big a groupies, if not more, than women. So it was a trade-off. And I mean, some people you run into now and it's like, huh? No harm, no foul, right? And because we were both crappy people going through shit and not clearly going to enough therapy.
Yeah, regulating.
Yeah, but now you think of how much time, like it takes so much time and brain power to be a cheater, to get away with it and all the things that you're risking. It's just like, all
It's
I
a
wanted
time
was
suck.
silence.
It's a
And
time
maybe I can go to enough therapy where I finally see myself as, I'm my own motherfucking validation.
Yeah,
I'm
good
the
enough.
motherfucking prize. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't move through the world in the same way, but I also recognize that hurt people, and hurt people seek out other hurt people.
You unconsciously gravitate to someone that has the exact same self-esteem you do. You see each other.
Absolutely.
Like I had a friend, this female friend, and she's married and she's been a member of SLA and she struggles with it. And she was telling me, this guy at work was texting her. And I said, you just got to remember, it feels so good. It's so flattering. It feels great to be desired. But the truth is that dude assessed you as having shitty enough self-esteem that you would fuck everything up for this attention. Like you got to also add that part of it. It's really an insult,
Speak on it.
Yeah.
Speak on it.
right? Isn't that
Speak on it.
complicated?
It's not really. No, I think you said it kind of quite clear. And I think a lot of us who just got like a oof can recognize ourselves in that.
Yeah, me
If
too.
we're-
I'm
if
like,
we're
oh,
being
this
honest.
person really just assessed that I'm a piece of shit that will use anything to validate themselves in any
you're
given
that
moment.
you're a vulnerable person to that.
Yeah, because your
your
self-esteem
self-esteem
is
is
low
low.
enough that you are susceptible to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Why is this relationship different than the other one? What changed? You felt you grew self-esteem?
I think initially it wasn't different.
Yeah.
I think over time, we both had to commit to ourselves. And then through that inner work,
Yeah.
we randomly came back around.
Got it.
As more healed people and more open to understanding our complicity in some of the challenges that we've created for ourselves.
Right.
That we are more, generally speaking, way easier to point the finger of, you did this to me. You caused that. This person did this. And it's like, okay, we're grown. We're super grown. I'm super grown at this. I'm 40 plus at this point. And it's like, I don't want to live like this.
Yeah.
None of this feels good. And it's exhausting. And I
Yeah.
want a love that feels like freedom. I don't want a love that feels like a gilded cage. And that was the best I could have hoped for before, was to have somebody else trapped in the gilded cage with me. But now we're both free. And we are free to choose ourselves and free to choose each other every day.
Yeah.
Which is a completely different...
It's a different paradigm.
yes,
Yeah.
completely different sentiment.
Okay. The inspection.
Yes.
You know, it's interesting. So I watched you in a bunch of interviews talking and promoting this movie. And on the surface, the most obvious thing is like you're playing a woman who is basically disowning her son for being gay. And there's so much cognitive dissonance for people, I think, when they wonder why or how you would play it. And for me, I would leap at that because you can't play someone with judgment, or you can, but you suck. So you kind of got to play someone without judgment. This is easy for me. I would never behave this way as a parent, but I would do anything to keep my kids safe. And if I had determined, or if my life experience taught me that being openly gay was a death sentence, I can get there. I'm not that way, but I do the craziest shit possible. If I really in my bones believe that my kid's life would be in jeopardy if they went down this road, I'd be that roadblock.
Yeah.
How did you get there? What kind of thoughts did you have that allowed you to play it judgment free?
I had to figure out, where is her humanity? We didn't all start out this way. So I started asking Elegance more questions about her childhood, because she was a child having
Is this
a
a
child.
true story?
It's a true story.
Okay. And you got to
well,
talk
not everything is exact, but the mom parts are all just ripped from his life. But I started asking more questions. So she had him as a teenager. Who was she before she got pregnant? And he was like, she was a great student. She was top of her class. She was a great athlete. And I was like, I know that. Okay. And then just started talking more about how was she just in life. What we got to was her desperate need to be thought of as good. And that's my way in. And all of the things that you will do and you're willing to barter with to be thought of as good.
Right. The compromises you'll make, or the betrayals of yourself to appear
Or
good.
anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think that person stands in the way of you being thought of as good, they can go. If you think about, as Black parents, since we have been Black parents on this land for the last 400 years, we have had to figure out ways of keeping our children safe. The easiest way that they've said to keep your children safe is full assimilation to the cis het, the 1% of the 1%, white, Euro, whatever, ideologies. Anything that deviates from that could put you at risk. Not just you, but your children, the whole family, the whole pit and caboodle. So from the time children are born, many Black parents to this day, and it happened to my daughter, they look at her ears, nail beds, to see how dark they're going to be. To see just how rough of a road you're going to have. And that's just colorism alone, anti-Blackness colorism. Then it's like, well, I want to make sure that you sound this way, that you dress this way, you speak this way, you move this way. You don't give anyone any reason to draw any negative attention towards you. You have to be this very specific idea of what a good Black person is. Anything outside of that, you jeopardize this whole family. But for Inez, it was because she was a teen mom. In her mind, I became a statistic, and now I'm not good. I got to get back to good. You know, got into church. She became a person who works in the prisons. So she could preach to them and she could help them turn their life around, but they're literally a captive audience.
Yeah.
They had to listen to her. She could make their life a living hell. And she took that same philosophy, like, I'm going to be good. And a good person forces you into a box because that's where you're safe and that's where you have the ability to be good, and also a reflection on your parents.
Yeah.
That they've done their jobs. And it's the chase to be good. And she just did not feel that a gay son allowed her to be thought of as good. And he had to go.
You know, I've had personal experience where I had to really check myself. I one time was promoting a movie and I decided to take my daughter. It's just me and her. She's 3. There's no nanny. And I'm doing press, right? So we're in Miami. It's fun. I guess a place on the beach. We're having fun. Then I got to go work. Everywhere we went, she got way too much attention, of course, because she's my daughter. And she would talk in this baby voice when they would talk to her. And I would find myself going, talk in your real voice, right? And 2 days of this, and I all of a sudden was like, okay, why does that bother you? Oh, because I've fused my identity with her. And there's a reflection on that. I'm raising a kid that at 3 talks like a baby. Wow, I didn't even realize that was going on. A, so I'm embarrassed when she does that. B, why is she doing that? That's too much attention for someone. This is unnatural. This is how she's coping with it. She's basically saying, I'm going to be so shitty at talking to you, you're going to stop talking to me. But I just, I had 2 days of doing it wrong, and then it clicked. Oh, I'm embarrassed. Get the fuck over yourself. This is the best she can do in this weird situation. And then I didn't say anything again. But I know that feeling. I would have thought I was incapable of that feeling. But lo and behold, I've had it several times where I'm just like, oh God, now these people think this about me because of that. I think everyone could kind of relate to that feeling as a parent.
Everyone. No, it's like when your kid falls out at Target and you're like, I'm better than this. I promise you I didn't raise a brat.
Or you talked about being on a flight to Africa and your toddler was going bonkers. And at some point you guys threw your hands in the air.
I was just like, y'all know. Like, I know there's
just
literally nothing else.
Shittiest parents in the world. I can accept it. Let's get over it.
There's nothing else I could do. But I had to catch myself the other day. Kav is, what do you want for Christmas? Princess clothes, princess shoes, everything princess. And inherently, I'm like, I'm a feminist. This is no reflection on our household. And I don't know why it bothered me so much that she is all in. Right now, however she got to it, she watches Enchanted on a loop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she wises up at the end and she's, whatever.
Yeah.
But she loves princess everything. And I felt like people were going to say I was a bad woman for subscribing to this princess stuff.
Rescued by a man. Life given meaning by a prince.
And I'm like, oh my God. And then she became, all at the same time, obsessed with being a mom. And so having her babies, always with her babies and her stuffed animals. She sleeps with a menagerie and being married. And she wants to be married to her best friend, Crosby. And we were taking her to school the other day, and me and Dee were like, does Crosby know he's married to you? And she was like, no. And I was like, well, that's probably the best kind of marriage to have, I guess. It's a solid start, Cobb. You're doing a bang-up job. But it was like, we're not those people who are like, we're married. Like at home, she just is into it.
Yes.
And she has this picture of us on our wedding day in her room that we trying to like take out. I was like, this doesn't even really go with the decor. It's like an animal theme. Like, why are we in here? And she wanted it back.
Yeah.
And
they
it's
love
just
those pictures.
She loves those pictures.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
But it's like who they are is who they
security,
are.
though. Also,
Yeah.
pictures of your parents together and happy is more than just marriage. It's I'm safe in this. That's happiness, and they're my parents, and I feel loved and safe.
Or that, yeah. That sounded way better than
I think it's a piece of it.
But all that to say, it's all the things that we freak out about that we think make us bad people, bad parents, unworthy, undeserving. And when you add the element of race and a lack of resources, you're so far beyond the 8 ball, you literally will barter with anything. And over the years, I've bartered, I've been saying, with my soul. And I call them soul sacrifices.
What's an example of a soul sacrifice?
You're in a group, everyone's hanging out, having a good time, and somebody tells a racist joke. And there's that moment where everyone kind of freezes. And then there's that thing in you that's like, that was bad. That's not funny. That's actually really hurtful. And if I stay here silent, I'm sending the message that I think it's cool. But that person is in a position of power. I don't want to lose my proximity to that.
Yep.
And I don't want to become that guy.
Right.
So I say nothing. But then you can't sleep that night because you're thinking about why you didn't do the right thing in the moment.
That's right.
That's what I would call a soul sacrifice.
I've witnessed Monica in this situation. And then what's even worse, I'm sure you've already played it out, but you say something, the person is absolutely devastatingly embarrassed. It hits them like a ton of bricks. Oh my God, that was so fucking wrong. And now you have to comfort the person.
Actually, I know you didn't. I know you're the person. I know, like,
to me, that's the insult to injury. I've had to watch Monica point out, that's not great. Then the spiral, and then the comforting. I'm like, oh my God, now you got to fucking comfort him?
Oh, this has happened to me so many times. Oh, God. Once we're done, I'll tell you a fun story and I'll name names, but not today. But there's been so many times where people turn on the waterworks and I'm like, oh, you know who that doesn't work with? Me.
Yeah.
You need to sit in that fucking L, take it, and I need you to be just as uncomfortable as you made this whole room.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're not going to learn your lesson. If I bail you out by offering you comfort when you were the person who harmed the rest of us, no, fuck you. And it's fine. And it's like our friendship doesn't have to end.
But you have to be high on the disagreeability spectrum as a personality type to be able to sit through that. That's a type of person. I happen to enjoy that as well, being confrontational. I kind of live for it. But, you know, that's asking a lot of somebody.
Or enough times you can't sleep leads you to that moment. I mean, I used to not only be silent, I would agree.
Back in the day, same.
Back when you felt like you had to prove yourself to be kept in the group.
Yeah.
Once you feel
one of the good ones.
Exactly. And once you feel confident enough and able to stand on your own, that's when you can start calling people out.
Yep.
But it's still hard.
Okay, also, so I understand your way in, and I don't think it's obscure to figure out how to play that role. There's also a second layer for me personally, which is I am very self-aware, I think. I could be wrong.
You are.
The ability to have a get out of free jail card and play a monster, name your variety of monster. It appeals to me because I'm so actively trying not to be. Because again, my image to me and my status and all these things I'm driven by, the notion of stepping into a monster feels kind of fun to me.
Normally, playing the bad girl is what I live for. My dream is to be Chacha de Gregorio, the best dancer at St. Bernadette's with the worst reputation. Like, that has always been the dream. But in this case, it's so close to home for us. I live with the child's heartbreak every day. Yeah. So it didn't appeal to me in that way. Yeah. But when Elegance said, only you can play her. And then later, he explained that, you know, him and his mom had been estranged for 18 years. And that he knew that she was a fan of mine. And that if she heard that I was playing her, she would get back in touch with him and she would reach out and she wouldn't be able to deny him anymore.
That's fucking brutal.
We got greenlit February 14th, 2020. She passed February 18th, 2020. So now I'm tasked with playing a real person who is a very complicated figure in my director's life. And the hope has been extinguished for the reunion. And does he even want to tell this story? Is he still comfortable with this version, playing the truth of these moments? And the executive producer and mother in me felt cruel, subjecting him to that. And he was like, not at all. It gave me a redo. And I could reclaim my hope in myself through this process. And, you know, mind you, we had 19 days to shoot the whole thing. I had 2 days to get all of this done. I'm also an executive producer. I'm looking where the sun is. We had a very ambitious day. And I realized we don't have the luxury. I'm not going to be able to do a Build-A-Bear performance. You're not going to be able to make this performance in the lab. I have to deliver because we're only going to have 2 angles.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm in a play and I have to get this right. And my director, I can hear him weeping. He oftentimes would take the camera and shoot it himself or be right next to the camera. And I could hear him. There's a mental thing where you're like, I just want to write a new ending. And you're like, did you get the goldenrod pages? But that wasn't the task at hand. And for so many people, seeing me specifically go there and lose how you know me and how most people are most comfortable with me, to completely lose myself in this role, allowed even the parents who thought they did it pretty well, didn't understand that acceptance, you know, saying, I accept my child. Well, ma'am, sir, the bar is on the floor. That's not something to be proud of.
Right.
They realized that they had been villainous at times in their own child's story. And they want to correct that. And they want to do better. And that they know that there is absolutely another way. But this is how some people truly love their children. And they truly believe that this is the most loving thing that they can do, putting them out. Rejecting them before the world can reject you.
Yeah, we just interviewed someone. Oh, maybe Kevin Bacon was telling us that still 20,000 kids a year, maybe it was 30,000, still go to conversion camp.
Oh.
Like I thought those, well, that must be outlawed at this point, right?
Like illegal.
Like we all know now. That's insane, right?
No, they're not illegal.
And not, still super active. Tens of thousands of kids.
Yeah. And lots of children are harming themselves. Lots of children have been literally just like, you know, Elegance and his mother, they're thrown away.
Ugh.
You know, and like, but in her mind, she was like, oh, the Marines. You can't be gay in the Marines. They'll return my boy to me.
That's the ultimate conversion camp.
Yeah. She thought.
Yeah.
And there's a moment that you can't see because we didn't have time to shoot all the angles. But I had decided that Inez had been so happy that it had worked, right? She'd watched her child, graduate from boot camp, and they're sitting in the cafeteria and he orders a salad when all the other guys have ordered a steak or lobster. And that's what triggers it.
Yeah.
Because people were like, how did you turn that dial? And I said, I decided that salad was a bridge too far. Because I'm using my finger quotes here, real man would order a salad. And I just thought that he just told on himself.
Yep.
And all the hard work he'd done. And you'd gotten me out of my house to come to this. And now you've humiliated me. And now I look like a terrible parent in front of the military. I cannot live with this. This cannot stand. And this is how best I can love you.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Well, the movie's beautiful. I'm so glad that you lent your attention-grabbing ability to it.
Thanks. I needed it.
Because I'm sure you're growing. You got kids, you got security, you got money. To still be helpful, to still help shine a light on things is an act of service. I mean, I'm sure you enjoyed playing it, and it's a great movie, but it's still an act of service, and I think it's fucking rad.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Everyone should watch The Inspection, out now on demand, the time of this airing. Gabrielle, this has been a party. This has been so fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
Oh, almost
I
did it
know.
again. I know you're nervous. This is 1 second.
Listen, I have
My
literally nothing to
great
do.
fucking regret of this whole year. I bet you I've thought about it 365 days ago. We interviewed your husband, 300 of the days. We're Spades fanatics.
Huge.
We are fucking
Lies.
Listen to me.
Lies.
Do you know Meta? You're friends with Meta.
He's been in the tournament, yes.
He's been in the tournament. So
we haven't been matched up against him.
Okay, well, I interviewed him. He said he was good. I said, show it. He and his wife came over. We fucking slaughtered him. And we played.
Do you guys play sandbags?
What are sandbags?
See,
we
well,
don't.
now you done
We
revealed
don't.
yourself.
He told us a little bit about that.
Oh, no,
and
no,
we
this is where you
don't.
can cheat.
No. That means you have to actually bid your hand. So if you go over, let's say you bid 6.
Yeah. Oh,
you
we
get,
play bags.
bags, yeah.
We
Yeah,
play
yeah,
bags,
yeah,
and you can
yeah,
only
yeah,
get 10
yeah.
bags. You go back 100.
And then you get set back.
But we
Yes,
didn't know they
of
were called
course. Don't be
sandbags.
ridiculous.
Well, that's it. You got to know the lingo.
Okay.
We
Okay.
say
Okay.
we say regular bags.
Bags, sandbags.
Sandbags.
Okay.
We call
Yes.
it sandbag.
No, we're hip
Yeah,
to that.
yeah.
So please, if you're a part of the committee that invites people, we must play.
Desperate.
We've done nothing but play spades for the last 3 years straight.
So this year's All-Star is in Utah, where my husband is no longer saying owner, investor in the Jazz. So listen, you got to put up or shut up. And it's cutthroat.
I know what you think, which I love. I love the underestimation.
We
Let's
love
go.
an underdog story.
We have been surprised. We have been surprised.
We'll prepare to be surprised.
There are like Chris Paul's parents. They will take you down. And they will
this
talk
is so
crap
fun.
It
the whole
is.
time. But there are certain people that you don't want to get matched up against. There's some like legendary teams out there. And the problem is I have a bit of social anxiety.
Okay.
So I will start to drink straight tequila.
Okay, great.
Sure.
And then I'm not exactly paying
As
attention
sharp.
Yeah, that's
as sharp.
Yeah.
And I'm missing the clues in his eyeballs. And I've got, obviously you can't talk across the
You
board.
didn't
right?
notice I threw off on that time? You didn't notice I was thrown off?
I'm 3 sheets to the wind. And he hates
Do you
it.
know I'm out of diamonds? Why did you
We've
fucking lead
had
a club?
some major fights.
It wears him out. Early in our relationship, because he didn't, at the time, he didn't drink or anything. And he would give me a 2-drink max. And this is like back in like the day when I was doing the most. And he didn't realize he was on thin ice. And there was a rouster waiting. And I'm like, you could get traded in the season now on my team. But he was like 2-drink max. And it became this joke. I think it was partly to make sure that I stayed focused
course.
when we played spades.
Well, there's another comical truth to spades, which is husband and wives make the worst fucking teams. My record with some non-wife members is outstanding, and all the members of our group, they play the worst with the spouses.
We play well if I'm focused.
If you're sober.
If I am focused, because I know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
I have an idea of what's in his hand based on his body language and how he holds his face.
But you're both alpha, right? So my wife and I are both alpha, and that's a big trouble in spades. Someone's got to fucking
I
get
stand
with
down.
the program.
I generally
You do?
stand
Okay,
down
okay.
in the relationship, generally speaking.
Okay. Well, you're pretty alpha.
Generally. because I have to be an alpha in the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
cool.
sometimes I don't want to have to make every damn decision. So,
got
like,
you.
if I come home, I'm like, I would also like to be talent here. And D always is saying, I don't work for you. And I was like, no, I think
I
you
say that
filed a
sometimes,
W-2 a while back, actually.
He carries the passports in the fanny pack. He can take care of it.
And you can also, go grab me some water and
Yes.
a snack. You're in there. Like, I don't understand why you just can't.
We're already in there.
We're already in there.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
well, phew, man. It almost blew my again without trying to get our name in the hat for
No, you guys are
Wade
included.
Spades. Okay.
I don't know if any of you are opposed to going to Utah.
No.
I'll go to you
Antarctica.
name the fucking country. I will go. This
So
has been a
exciting.
blast.
Yeah.
Good luck with everything. Everyone watch The Inspection and also check out Strange World, which is on Disney now.
Yes.
Be good. Take care. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Go Bruins.
guys. Yeah, A-clap.
And now my favorite part of the show, the fact check with my soulmate, Monica Padman.
Does everyone want to hit record?
I've been recording.
I'm not going to record. This is one of my New Year's resolutions.
Oh, cool.
To not
Abstinence.
record on my end.
NBR?
Insolence, What's the difference between insolence and obstinance?
I think they're similar.
Okay.
Both pejoratives.
Neither anything anyone would make as a resolution. Oh, you're back in your cupboard.
Yeah. I'm in my closet.
Okay, I mean, just make sure everything's still looking good. Oh yeah, numbers are running up. It turns out I'm not going to be able to do my resolution of being obstinate.
I'm sorry. Happy? I don't want to lie about it.
Oh God! Why
I
can't you just tell
can't.
a little why you even got to talk about it?
No, of course we have to talk about it. That's the whole episode.
Well, no, but you could have so many other thoughts that just really don't have anything to do with space
No.
and time.
No, we live in space time, says Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well, I read an article recently that said that the people who study the beginning of the universe, they said you got to stop thinking about time. It's not a real thing. That's the most recent thing I heard.
Wait, what?
Yes,
How is
it was like a
Tyson-
New York Times headline. It said like time's not real ? And then it was some journalist who reports on astrophysics, and she said when she talks to the people that are deepest in it, they said it's really just an invention of ours. It doesn't really exist. And they're looking at the beginning of the universe. Like it's just an abstract concept of ours.
I guess I get that. Like we put words to how you move through the universe.
I think more like, as I understand time, the prerequisite for time is that there's a beginning and an end for things. Where else are you establishing this timeline?
Well, does it have to be a beginning or an end, or can it be a before and an after? Because there are befores and afters.
Well, that's a great point.
Oh my God, I should work for the New York Times.
No, you should work as an astrophysicist studying black holes in the beginning of the universe.
I'd be so bad at that.
I think they might think there's not a before and an after. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. If stars formed after, I don't know. But it was compelling.
And there was a before we recorded and an after we recorded.
We think.
Well, we know. We know that.
Have you seen Everywhere Every Time, all the places?
No, we were all supposed to watch it together. Did you guys end up watching it?
I finally saw it last night.
Okay.
It's incredible.
I do want to see it.
What's it called? Everything, Everywhere, All the Time?
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Even better.
I know.
It's so good. It's really good. And a good message.
Oh, I love a good message.
Yeah, messages don't really get me in movies, you know?
Uh-huh.
In general,
Because you're
do
so
you-
obstinate.
Yeah, but do they get you? Like, wow,
Oh,
I learned a
yeah.
lesson. Oh, really?
I love that. Yeah.
Give me an example. I think you're
Well-
just knee-jerk saying that, but you don't have an example.
No, every movie I watch, there's lessons.
Oh, that you value?
Yeah, Glass Onion.
Oh, what was that
Lots
lesson?
of messages.
What was the messages and learnings? And it requires that you didn't already hold that opinion.
Oh, well,
Yeah, exactly. Now we're down to 0.
wait, no. I mean, I guess White Lotus, I had
Oh.
some perspective shifts. I think it's maybe okay to choose.
Dishonesty?
I don't want to say that because
Because there is a
Honesty.
weird honesty under the dishonesty. Is that one?
Yeah, and also because I value honesty, that's why I have to tell people it's not New Year's yet.
Right. Yeah.
I guess the better word is ignorance. You can choose to embrace ignorance, and it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
That's a new opinion for me.
Yeah. Or defeatist.
It's not defeatist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could be empowering.
Yeah, you can end up the happiest.
Yeah.
I mean, I
the
guess
most
ignorance is
powerful.
bliss is like not new.
Yeah, that's a pretty old one.
But I never signed on to that. But now I do.
I have intermittently been a proponent of ignorance is bliss. Yeah. It's a very, again, the contradictions. The thing I'm most attracted to in life is figuring things out, knowing.
Intelligence.
Yeah, the only, the thing I might value about myself. And yeah, remember this was a riddle from about a year ago, a hot tub riddle. Maybe even Eric proposed it, but it was, would you go down 10 IQ points to be, and I think it was lopsided, to be like 30% happier? And you were basically, you said no way, as I recall.
Yeah, I probably said no at that time, but I've changed.
Pre-White Lotus.
See, I learn a lot from TV
Film and
movies.
television.
Yeah.
What have you watched over this break that has PQ'd you?
Well, I've been reading a book.
Oh, this I know. And you posted about it today.
Well, for the audience, a week ago.
Oh, no, 3-4 days ago. It's not that bad. Monday's 2 seconds from now.
Yeah, you're right. Well, if time's not real.
I think your resolution this year was full transparency. Even though you're embracing dishonesty.
No. One of my resolutions is to read more novels.
Mm-hmm.
And I started early, and I'm reading The Candy House, and it's so good.
Tell me, what's it about a little bit? No spoilers.
Her first book, I don't know if it was her first book, but the book she's most known for is A Visit from the Goon Squad, which won a Pulitzer Prize.
Oh, it did?
Yes.
The Pulitzer. Okay, what was that
and
one
I
about?
loved that book. And it's kind of similar structure where it's like individual stories, but they're woven together. The people kind of all know each other, in some ways very connected, in some ways loosely connected, but it's kind of telling just a story about dysfunctional humanity. And this one is, the basis is we live in a world, well, this world, in the future, where you can upload your memories to this like cube, basically.
Okay, renamed the cloud a cube, sure. What? I'm just trying to anchor it in reality.
Obstinate this year.
I'm doing well.
You can upload all your memories to this cube, and then there's this collective consciousness that you can buy into, and you have to upload yours in order to access other people's.
And can you swim around in other people's memories?
You can access other people's memories, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But you hear all these individual stories. It's so good. I didn't have a highlighter, but I wanted to highlight a lot of lines.
Are you folding the pages?
No, I'm just succumbing.
Because you want to keep it pristine?
And I don't like folded pages.
You don't?
No, but I like
had a
highlighters.
hunch. That's interesting.
There's a couple lines that resonated, kind of, or I just liked them a lot. Here's one. Now I feel on the spot, so I'm not sure I'll remember.
Yeah. Take your time. We edit this show. In fact, you edit this show.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
There was something like, there's nothing like the narrative power of a redemption story. And I thought that was very accurate. And then it was a first person perspective. And like right after that, he said, America loves a sinner, lucky me. And then, well, I don't want this to hurt anyone's feelings who have white skin, but you guys are the majority.
We can take it, yeah.
So it said something like, if you love someone with dark skin, seeing white skin looks like they're drained of something vital.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. We're empty and hollow. It's
I love
deal.
white
No,
skin, so.
it's the deal we made with the devil. to have white supremacy. We had to give all of our adrenochrome to whatever power we made the deal with.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And now we're empty. So you didn't watch any visual media? You didn't watch any moving
Let's
pictures?
see. I mainly watched Something from Tiffany's over and over and over because that's what I do, you know.
That's a movie, Something from Tiffany's?
I think that's what it's called. Yeah, someone with Zoe Deutsch, rom-com. I think I already brought this up.
Oh, you already said,
it.
yeah, and you've gone a few times back to it?
Yes. Oh, but on Christmas Eve, we watch Christmas movies all day.
Which ones did you see?
Home Alone, Home Alone
Right.
2,
Right.
Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
Oh, sorry.
Vacation. Yeah.
Well, listen, that was the first time my mom had seen it.
Really?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen her laugh so hard at the part where he gets Jelly of the Month Club.
Oh, that hit her.
She was laughing so hard at that Jelly of the Month Club.
I do wonder if it was part she loved the joke and then part that's a colloquial saying at this point in Americana. Like for the last 30 years since that movie came out, people jokingly say, would you get Jelly of the Month Club? Like it made a joke out of jelly. So I wonder if she was having a ding, ding, ding moment in addition to thinking the joke was good. Like, oh my God, that's what people have been
hold on. My
referencing
dad's
for 30.
calling. Hold on, I gotta answer
Stupid.
it.
You're in his house. Why is he calling?
Hello? Dad? Dad?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, this is weird because I can hear Dax in one ear and then, Dad!
It's like when Timmy talks to Lassie.
I think it was a butt call.
Oh, is he known for that?
That's happened a few times while he's at the grocery store,
Okay.
which is where I think he's at.
Oh, cute. Dads like the grocery store, don't they?
Oh my God, he goes to the grocery store every day.
Yeah, it's a good little retreat for dads. Papa Bob lived at Farmer Jack at the grocery store. I almost wonder if it was as devious as he's like, he knew like Euless wanted this item. She did not put it on her list. I'm not going to get it because she's going to send me back in a couple hours. I almost wonder if there was anything calculated about the way he shopped.
I could see that. Yeah.
He loved a loss leader. He lived for loss leaders.
What's
Do
that?
people know what loss leaders are?
Mm-mm.
Back in the days of the circular where you were doing all your advertisements in the back of the Sunday paper, you know, in the newspaper, they always had an item, a loss leader. You learn it in marketing class. They're going to lose money on that item.
Oh.
They got a Black & Decker toaster oven for $39. It retails at $79. They're probably paying $59 wholesale. They're going to lose $10 on that thing, but they're going to limit it at 3 and you're going to be in their store and they hope they're going to make up for it once they get you in the store. So it's an item to get you in the store.
Oh my God.
And my Papa Bob could sniff out a loss leader. Like when he zipped through the paper, he was like, boom, loss leader, boom, 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 boom. He cut them all out. And then his week was going and getting the limit of all those loss leaders.
Wow.
And then they piled up in the basement. I'm kind of cheating right now because I just wrote about this. Yeah, I want to be honest. Again, I don't have your same resolution, but I'm going to adhere to it. He stockpiled all these items in the basement. So when you went to the basement, it was like going into Sears, and he gave all of it away. So when you came, everyone that visited, even if it was like a loose acquaintance, they left with a toaster oven, a percolator coffee machine, 12, 15 rolls of paper towel. And that's what he did. That was like his mission in life, was getting those loss leaders and then distributing them to people for free.
Now, did he know it was called that? Or you
No.
later in life? Okay.
I think I learned in like an 11th grade marketing class about the loss leader. And I thought, oh, that's Papa Bob's thing.
I'm embarrassed that I don't know that term because I should have learned it.
Well, I'll
in
tell
all
you, it's
my
one of
studies.
those terms that when I was writing, I was like, yeah, I know that term. But then after writing it down twice, I was like, I better look it up and make sure I was correct. And by God, it comes right up. It is a thing, loss leader.
This is a ding, ding, ding for a fact.
Oh,
Lean in. We said lean in, and then you said, lean in is a phrase that people say, but I don't really know if I know what it means.
right. From a woman's book, right? It was a woman
Sheryl
encouraging.
Sandberg.
Sheryl Sandberg.
Sheryl Sandberg. Lean in. seek challenges, and continue to pursue their career goals without fear. If you are lean in, Sheryl Sandberg believes you're more likely to be promoted regardless if you have small children. The book itself offers a more nuanced look at the challenges women face, but Sandberg's message was often distilled to its simplified can-do essence. If a woman works hard enough and asserts herself enough, she can thrive at home and at work.
Do you know that I remember the very first time I heard the expression lean in? All praise be to Huey in Nashville, Houston Estes. He and I were in New Orleans. We went downtown to like kind of a nice hotel to have tea. I wanted to like go to Bourbon Street, but I don't drink. So I'm like, well, I want to go to some gothic. Oh, ding, 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 you're drinking tea.
I am.
So he and I were seated at this little table in kind of a nice lounge of a nice hotel drinking tea. And this woman was barging in to our conversations like every 6 minutes. She was letting it rip. She was hammered, mind you. But she was like 50s, professional looking, well-dressed. And she was lighting us up. And Huey said, well, she took that lean in book to heart, didn't she?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, what is that? That's when I first became aware of it. She was leaning into our conversation every 5 to 6 minutes.
Right.
Okay, so that was a good fact. But hold on. Anything you watched other than that rom-com?
Oh, yeah. All those Christmas movies. Jelly of the Month. Oh, Jelly of the Month. No, she had never heard. That was not a ding, ding, ding for her. That was brand new. Like, that was a brand new,
fresh off the
hilarious joke.
I don't imagine you've seen that movie as many times as I have.
No.
So are you clocking how stuffed Uncle Eddie's pants are during the whole film?
No.
He has like a 14-inch cucumber in his pants.
Oh my God, I didn't notice that at all.
It's almost worth today you going back just to the grocery store. You know the grocery store scene where he's putting all the dog food on top of the cart and he says,
yes.
Clark tells him he'd like to buy some Christmas presents. He's really touched. He has like 14 inches of flaccid dong so on display. It's insane. It's so overwhelming. It's so shocking it made it into a Christmas movie.
Wow, that's hilarious.
And there's a callback when he kidnaps his boss and the woman calls. She's like, he was a something man. He was in a denim leisure suit, a bulging man. She calls him bulging.
Oh,
and it's a callback to his enormous.
Oh
flaccid,
my God.
Yeah. It's
I didn't
great
pick up on any of that.
Well, once you're on that trail, when you have the scent, every scene you're looking for it. And it's very rewarding. Very rewarding. What's your overall? I've had some very interesting takeaways from this break.
Oh, tell me. And I also want to hear about your Christmas.
Christmas was great. The children had a blast. It's very fun watching children open their presents. It's hilarious. Anyways, my takeaway this break is, and it's not a great one.
Okay.
It's a good one and a bad one.
Okay.
I don't think I need any free time. Okay? I think like I'm working throughout the year and I'm thinking like, I can't wait to have a break. And then you know what? I don't think I want to be on a break.
Okay. Well, this is funny because right before you got on, Rob and I were talking and I was like, yeah, I mean, it's weird because I'm like ready to be home, but I'm also not ready to be home.
Oh, to LA.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you're having the opposite reaction. This is great.
I'm having I really needed a break. But not from, I don't know how to explain it. It's not work necessarily. It's more like I let myself pace life differently. And I need that for at least a week, I think, a year.
Good.
Yeah. Like my book, I'm going to keep talking about it.
Please do. You're finding yourself in this book and it's transcendent and it's a new perspective. Yeah. And it's wonderful. That's great.
But when I imagine reading in my apartment, it doesn't feel the same. I'm really going to have to force myself, which it is a resolution, but I'm going to have to force myself because that's not a part of my routine. Yeah. And I always feel a little weird when I'm reading because I feel like I should be doing something else.
Right. Yes.
So
That makes sense. If you had 2 kids with you, you wouldn't have had that experience. You would just be understimulated.
yeah,
All right.
I get that.
I'll keep it personal.
Yeah.
Like I'm recognizing how much. By the way, though, I recognize this could be totally different. I felt maybe last year differently, and maybe next year I'll feel. I think this is specific. Maybe, yeah. I crave stimulation. I crave things to do. I like to, be in a slight hurry a few times a day. Maybe
You do, but you also really like lounging.
sure. Well,
Not
right.
in a bad way, in a
No,
great
you're
way.
right. I have the disposition that like I need to do something really fast and get it done and do good so that I can enjoy my lounging.
Mm-hmm.
But without that other thing, I can't really enjoy the lounging. It's just like a lot of unearned lounging.
You have to look at it again, time, ding, ding, ding.
Mm-hmm.
You have to adjust. You're thinking of it day by day, and instead the year. It's like,
I've earned a week because of the year.
yeah, and then after this week, it's gone.
Yeah. Well, look, everything's complicated. There's so many more variables. It's not really just about maybe taking time off, but you're hosting family. All the family's flights were all canceled. They were all on those flights that were canceled. You had one wave that drove home, and there was, debate whether the other members should come with them, and then no, only to find out their flight was canceled. Then they drove home by themselves.
Oh, geez.
A lot of stress, but mostly it's that phenomenon of being slammed back into your role as a child.
Yes.
That's probably a lot of it, what I'm feeling.
Tell me more.
Well, my role as the middle child is to monitor everyone's mood at all times and try to anticipate who's about to lose their shit and then intervene.
Right. And was that having to happen a lot?
No, it was a lovely trip. I just like muscle memory. And whether it's warranted or not, I just find that I'm monitoring everybody and I'm on high alert and vigilant to make sure everything's cohesive.
Totally. And I have this too. It's like I spend all year in therapy trying to not do the thing. And then you get around your family and you're like put in this pressure cooker where it's all tested. Everything you've worked on this whole year, it's like, now's the time. Are you going to be able to have acceptance? Are you going to be able to let things, and then, then you feel stressed out.
And it's all autonomic, if that's the right word. It's also all muscle memory. So it's like you don't even have to put any energy into landing directly back into this place.
Yes.
It's just all of a sudden you're just responding so naturally.
Yeah, I know.
It's just freaky.
It's helpful this year for some reason. Like last night, I went to dinner with my mom and dad, and it was really nice. And Neil didn't come because he was tired because he had a really long day at work. And then we came back, and then we were all just in the kitchen chit-chatting. And it was really nice, and it felt new because his life is changing. So he seems new.
Neil.
Yeah, which made it more interesting. It was like, oh, there's new dynamics. Like, that's fun. And
People
then
are growing.
People are growing, and there's just a newness to it. We started talking about his old discretions, I guess. And but we were all laughing. And that is the first time.
Because it's in the past now. So now it's funny.
Finally in the past. And that was so nice. It was really nice. Also, I feel weird saying this out loud, but since honesty, I don't know why I keep saying that's not my resolution. But I kind of felt like this, and I'm knocking on wood, okay? Because I don't want this to go a bad way. I feel like maybe this is the last Christmas that it's going to be just the 4 of us.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I just have this like weird.
You have a spidey sense of that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know. And I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means.
There's only 4 options. You have a child. Neil has a child. Your dad has a girlfriend he brings to Christmas. Your mom has a boyfriend she brings to Christmas.
No, that's not. You're forgetting some options. No.
Oh, puppy?
Well, maybe. But I have a child, or I have a boyfriend or a husband that comes. And then same for Neil. One of the...
No boyfriends, girlfriends. We're ruling that out.
I think I'll probably rule that out.
Okay.
For them coming to
what
Christmas
if Dan
anyway.
is there next year?
Who's Dan?
Nimmy's side piece.
You?
No, different Dan. This is like a Dan from Georgia. He's a quiet man. He's a very quiet man.
What
Dan.
if she said, I'm bringing my boyfriend, and then you show up?
That'd be great. You guys already know me.
Like, Dax. No, but anyway, I just have this like feeling.
Really quick. So I know you hate this conversation.
Oh, God. Okay.
But I do want you to ask your father this at some point. If Nimmy was going to have a boyfriend, it's just like that's happening.
Yeah.
I would hope I'd be high on his list of least problematic because we already like each other so much.
Right. Look.
I'll ask.
I'll ask, I guess, and I'll report back.
And it might even be, I got a hunch. I'm way out on the limb now, but I got a hunch it could get even more awkward at that Christmas when Nimmy realizes this was maybe a ploy for me to spend a ton of time with a joke.
Yeah, things get complicated.
Yes, jealousy. But not in the way you would think.
You never know where that jealousy is going to come
Ashok
from.
and I are like at the grocery store 7-8 hours a day. I was like, when are they coming? When's your boyfriend and dad coming back? Jesus.
No, when's my boyfriend and your dad coming back?
Well, that's what she would say to you. Yeah. But you would be saying, when's your boyfriend and dad getting back?
When's your boyfriend and my dad coming back?
Yeah, and my dad.
From the grocery store.
Where's my coworker and my dad coming back?
And it's extra complicated because sometimes you act as my dad. So it's like.
That's why he and I will have so much to talk about at the grocery store.
I know.
Parenting. I'm worried about the budget of Monica's house. Me too.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We could probably do 2-3 hours on your house. The show.
It's already been a topic of conversation. Oh my God. All right.
I saw a lot of stuff. Do you want to hear what I saw?
Yes.
Avatar. Took the girls yesterday, just the three of us. We went out to Houston's, the three of us.
Nice.
Had lunch, which was really fun. And then we went straight to Puss in Boots, the new cartoon.
Uh-huh.
And okay, so there's a really cool theater in Pasadena called iPic. Have you ever been there?
No, but I've heard great things.
It's awesome. It's where I took the 3-hour nap during Lincoln, like 6 Christmases ago or 10, whatever it was. And so there's only like 6 rows in the theater. And I didn't know this when I booked them. The only row that was open was the closest to the screen. I'm like,
oh, boy.
Who cares? Let's go. And what I didn't know is that the bottom ones don't recline. They're kind of got a preset. They're like a lounge chair.
Oh, okay.
But it's not long enough for me. I'm too tall.
Ugh.
So I got the girls on their own little lounge chair in the middle. And then I got my own. I had to buy 2 seats. You can't split up the lounge chair. So that's one thing.
Wow.
So then I get in there and anywho, it's not comfortable for dad. I ended up straddling. So in the middle of the lounge chair where the 2 people be lounging is a table so you can have your food. It's the kind that they'll bring you food in the theater. It's great. And then the whole thing is clam shaped. So on my side, it's really not long enough. So I decided, I'm going to straddle. I'm going to go in the dead middle and have this big table between my legs.
Oh, my.
Does that make sense? I'm like straddling the middle of this clam shaped seat.
Sure.
And I'm in there. I finally got myself positioned. And then I just feel pop. I mean, like pop. And my fucking pants just ripped in half.
Oh, my God.
I wish I had brought them up to the attic to show you. Just all of a sudden, there's fresh air on my anus, basically. I mean, not really, 'cause I'm wearing panties, but my slacks just gave way. I was wearing kind of like a dress pant. I was actually liking them. I hadn't worn them in a while. It was a salmon-colored slack.
Oh, that's nice.
And
dang.
Pop, in like a full 8 inches of the seam exploded. I guess I've had some gain since I wore those pants that I was
Sure.
not expecting. But then I was like, whoa, man, my whole ass blew out of these pants. And when I'm going to walk around, I don't know if people are going to see me undies. Luckily, I had a fresh pair on, brand new, right out of the plastic.
Oh, my God. Thank God. Thank God you weren't commando.
Oh, but that almost would have been spectacular if there was just testicles hanging out of the back of the. Okay, you're right. I'd probably get arrested for that.
Puss in Boots? Yeah, no.
That was a literal pop out during the film. Great movie, though, Puss in Boots. Really fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Now, do you think the kids are old enough to be embarrassed by that?
No, they thought, well, seemingly not. They thought it was fantastic, of course. Like, what could be better? If you went to the movies with your dad and Ashok's fucking pants blew in half,
I'd be so embarrassed.
You would? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
they thought it was great. I think anytime I'm humiliated or look weak or I'm failing, they love it because they think I'm so competent because I'm the adult. So when I'm having like wardrobe malfunctions or I trip, they love it. It's so comforting.
that's so interesting. I wonder if that's just their personality or if that's age. Like, I wonder if they'll eventually be embarrassed or not.
I got to imagine, though, there is a baseline embarrassment you have for each parent. And so if you're already hovering that you're embarrassed of them everywhere you go, then anything that happens, you're like, oh God, now this, he spilt his soda.
Yeah.
But I think if you're not super embarrassed of your parent and they have an oopsies,
Right.
then it's kind of amusing.
Right. But I guess I wonder, like, when that baseline sets in, is that always or no?
I was never embarrassed of my mother.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Ever. I thought she was great. If she was around, everyone liked her. She was cool. There are no issues. My father had, there were some things of his that embarrassed me.
Yeah.
And so I was much more scrutinizing of the things he did,
Right. Sure.
confirming my story that this guy's embarrassing.
Right. Interesting. I guess I figured like every kid is embarrassed by their parents, but maybe not. I guess not.
Yeah, I wasn't embarrassed of my mom. That was good. Is there anything else I watched? I feel like I've watched everything on television at this point.
Did you watch something from Tiffany's?
All right, I missed that. That one's not on my streaming platform for whatever reason. They didn't add it to the algorithm.
Okay. Well,
who's this fact check for?
This is for Gabrielle Union. Great episode. And I said this in the episode, but I still think it's it's good luck. It's really good luck that she's the first of the year and Dwayne Wade was the first of last year.
That is tremendously
It's
lucky.
really lucky.
It's a harbinger of good things to come.
It is. And me and you decided this year is going to be really good.
Impossibly good.
Yes.
We have a real ray of optimism.
Yeah.
Because we
And
figured
tell
out
people why.
something numerically.
Yeah.
All right. Just a reminder, I'm obsessed with even numbers.
Yeah.
And I love things multiplied by 2. It's just the greatest.
It's great.
And so I'm turning 48.
Yeah.
And so 4 times 2 is 8.
Yeah.
It's all right there. It's basically my age is a math equation. My favorite
is.
kind. The only thing that could be better, to be honest with you, is if I was turning 416, because that would be 4 squared.
Yeah, that's good.
But I don't even know if I like it as much, though.
Or
But
24.
No, because 4 times 4 is 16.
Right, I know. But
Oh, what's 424 going to do? Times 6.
No,
So
but 24 is still 2 squared.
No, 2 squared is 4.
Right.
Yeah, 24 is a great birthday because you're not only
That's what I'm
2
saying.
times 2. But I'm never going to turn 24, Monica. That
You
that
already
ship has
did.
sailed.
I'm just saying it
Oh.
was also a really good birthday, I hope.
It
'Cause-
was really, yeah, it was. Might have been the one I missed, but yeah. That feels about the age when I missed my birthday one year. Oh, it's my birthday also. Is today my birthday?
Yeah, today's your birthday.
Oh my God, boy.
Happy birthday.
We glossed
Ding,
right over
ding,
that.
ding.
Thank you. January 2nd, yeah. Oh, also January 2nd, too. That's great. So anyways, the good luck doesn't end there with me being 48. This doesn't happen very often. This only happens when you're 24, you're 48.
Yeah.
Once you get in your 50s, you're done. That's a wrap. When
Yeah.
you're 12, Which, oh my God, 12 was my best year, if you recall. That's 7th grade.
Yeah.
Oh my God, am I seeing a pattern? I also think 24 is the year I graduated UCLA and got in the Groundlings. Anyways,
Oh my God.
the other magic birthday is 36.
Yes. Which is the year I turned
So on
this year.
August 24th of this year, August
24!
24. Oh my God. What could happen? I can't even really imagine a life
Also,
this
it's not
much
even
better.
It's not even 24. It's 8/24.
Oh. Oh. Oh my God. And if we think about it, I don't know how we're going to think about this. Wait, it's 8/24. That's fantastic.
8/24 equals 3 times 2 equals
Yes.
6.
30. So you're turning 36,
Yeah.
multiple of the first integer.
That's
I'm
right.
turning 48, multiple of the first integer.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
the only time it will ever happen.
inconceivable.
Mm-hmm.
What could happen this year? Space travel?
Space time?
Learning to levitate?
I don't know.
Sky
We
is the
just don't know.
limit. Whoa, 36 and 48. This is huge.
It's going to be huge.
Huge,
Even
huge,
magenta. Okay, so what's your birthday wish?
I have given zero thought to my birthday. I will say this, we just went for Matt's birthday a couple weeks ago, go-karting.
Yeah.
10 racers. It was so fun, outrageously fun. And then I asked Charlie last night, is it too soon to go back and do the exact same thing for my birthday? And he said, no, it's not.
Yeah.
So maybe, but I got to get on that.
Yeah.
It's today.
Your birthday's today.
My birthday's today. And so I need to have a reservation and have invited everyone. Also, I feel a little pathetic.
Why?
Well, here's why I'd feel pathetic. It was a great group for Matt's birthday party.
Yeah.
And what would make most sense is I just re-invite that group. But that was his assemblage. And then I started thinking, I don't have 10 friends anymore that I can count on.
Yes. Don't say that.
Well, I still have Nate and Panay, but they're
Yeah.
not showing up to this
Why?
a Monday go-kart race. They're busy.
Nate
He
came.
can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nate'll come. I don't know.
You went to his birthday at the movie theater.
True. Top Gun. Great memory.
Mhm.
Mm.
Thank you. You don't need 10.
10 made it really fun.
Oh, it
and then,
did?
Yes. And then Matt had the ultimate suggestion, which is a great idea. He said, we should do this. We should have a full season. We should have a full Formula One season. We have 10 races, full scoring system, also pair up into teams
Ooh.
randomly. So there'll be a
Ooh.
constructors championship and then an individual. And this sounded fantastic.
Yeah.
10 scheduled races a year.
I love that. That's so fun.
Yeah, I really like that idea. Yeah, maybe that's my New Year's resolution. Yeah.
Well, I'm sad because I fly home today. I'm late for my flight right
Oh
now.
my God. I can't believe you're able to Zoom me over the shitty Wi-Fi on
On the
your
airplane.
flight.
No, I fly home today on your birthday, and so I probably won't see you on your birthday.
Well,
I
let's
mean,
not
I come
jump to
home
that
early.
conclusion. Okay. What time do you get home?
Like noon. So
Oh, you're
I
already
can
home.
Yeah, I'm home.
Okay.
Actually, I just got
Actually,
home.
you land in 43 minutes.
So I'd love to see you on your birthday.
Me too.
And I have your birthday present and all your Christmas presents that finally came. And Rob's Christmas present that didn't come that now came.
Yeah. Oh my God, update. Did I tell you about the new 7-Eleven I discovered?
No.
Oh, this one is insane. I cannot believe I've lived here for 16 years and not been going to this 7-Eleven. It's directly across the street from Home Depot in a fucking plaza with a laundromat and that skanky Burger King.
Yes, I know that one.
You know it?
Yeah.
You can't ever go in there, okay?
Oh my
Ever.
God. I'm scared.
I went in there the other night because they got rid of my chewing tobacco. I could do another hour about the fact that they outlawed flavored tobacco products and vapes in California. And it went
They
into effect.
did?
It went into effect a few weeks ago. So I can't get
Oh, shit.
which is great because by now I've quit dip. So right now we're recording. It's my birthday. I'm kind of agitated because I don't have my dip, but
Oh
I've
my
quit
God.
one of my
Why?
resolutions.
Why are you doing
I don't know. So they don't have my Copenhagen anymore. In fact, they have almost no dip anymore because all of it was flavored. So it's
Yeah.
gone. So I went into that 7-Eleven in a pinch thinking, well, maybe they'll have some old dusty cans of the kind I need.
Yeah.
And it was the evening. It was like 9 o'clock at night. I went in there. There's fucking glass everywhere. Like the whole counter's glassed off. It's kind of COVID-y glass, but it's much bigger.
Okay.
There were 3 dudes up at the register that had MS-13 tattoos on their forehead.
Oh my God.
There's one guy dragging himself through the 7-Eleven. Like seems like he should probably have a wheelchair, but maybe he doesn't need one. But he's
my
just
God.
kind of serpentining through 7-Eleven. He's like a Dawn of the Dead creature. Like it's like a zombie was. Yeah, there was truly wasn't bipedal. There was a monster. And I say this guilt-free because the person wasn't handicapped. They just had one of their legs stopped working for that moment.
But were they on drugs probably?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone in there was out of their mind.
Oh my God.
The staff was completely ill-equipped to deal with anything. Like no one could get a transaction done at the register. There's this huge line. There's 3 dudes with face tattoos. There's one dude with his pants all the way down, drinking a beer in 7-Eleven,
No.
arguing with one of the MS-13 dudes. And I'm like, how long before the MS-13 guy kills this guy?
Oh.
It was, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I don't want to disparage any other countries, but I definitely felt like I was
Not in the
somewhere
United
out.
States. Yeah.
Not in the United States, and maybe not even in this decade. Like maybe in Beirut in 78, there was a 7-Eleven or something. I mean, it felt that wild.
Whoa.
And I was like, whoa, this is the next level. I almost don't feel safe in here without Aaron. And of course, the second I left, I got on the phone with Aaron. Couldn't wait to tell him about this new location I found. It just trumps my other one.
I don't want you to go there.
I gotta get over. In fact, just telling you this story makes me realize, like, I need to stop by there today and see what's happening.
No, please, please.
Oh, I forgot. I did not tell you one of the best parts. When I exited the 7-Eleven, there's a guy directly in front of the door. You've got to step over it. A blanket with all kinds of random items for sale. And then there's 3 different cars in the parking lot with blankets on the hoods of their cars selling random.
Oh my God.
There's no cohesion to the products being offered on these blankets. I mean,
They're
my
just trinkets.
conclusion is they're just stolen items, and it's very random. You can't steal a set of anything, you know.
Oh boy.
Anywho, that was so thrilling.
Can your resolution be to not go there?
No more 7-Eleven. That is the one thing I miss when I'm off of tobaccos. I have really no business at 7-Eleven.
No,
I don't
you
buy
don't.
scratch offs, and I have enough Diet Coke at home.
Did they have the dip?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I bought, I don't know what I bought. Some
Something
dip I
else.
hated. Yeah.
Well, at least that'll help you quit when you don't like it.
That's why I said I could do an hour on this. So then I figured out a place I can order out of state.
Oh no.
I paid for overnight. It took 5 days to get here. Then that was going to get me to the New Year's, but I was running out, ordered again, timed it perfectly. UPS said the package was delivered at 10:43. I'm looking all over my yard, scouring the streets. I drive around the whole neighborhood wondering, did it get delivered somewhere else? This goes on for a day and a half. I'm panicking. I have no dip. Then I think to call Carly, I text her like, hey, did I get a package by chance to your house? Oh yeah, the UPS guy, you weren't home and he knows me. So he brought it to my house and I signed for it. I was like, and then what? And then you're just like, well, okay, sign for that. Why didn't you tell me?
Well, Dax,
You have a I've been scouring my yard for a day and a half.
she didn't know it was like keeping
Life
you
juice.
alive.
Oh boy.
Wow. Okay. And wait, I want to show you something because it's a ding ding ding. Let's see if I can do it. Hold on.
Okay.
Can you see that sticker? Wait.
Oh, there's several stickers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
See this one?
I want the world. I want the world?
What does it say in the middle?
Oh, boy. I can't see. Decca Anna?
No, I want the world drug-free, just like me.
Oh, wow. You were on a campaign to end drug use?
I
in the
guess.
US? Oh, wow.
I guess I was. That was probably when I was 5 or 6.
Okay.
I put that sticker up and I put tape over it because it was that important.
Do you feel unethical having it up now that you tried mushrooms?
No.
Okay. Because
I
they're
feel
organic.
like I've done pretty good on that promise.
Yeah, you have. You're not a druggie. That's for certain.
And then there's another good sticker here. Hold on.
I notice you don't have any don't drink wine stickers anywhere.
Nope, I don't.
You never made that declaration. What's this one?
Do you see this one?
There's a Red Robin Hood. Right, make America great again. Is that what this?
I was really ahead of my time with
What
Make
did that one
America
say?
Great.
It looked like
said-
Robin Hood. It was on there.
It said make healthy choices.
Oh, and you know what that little character is? That's the guy from the frozen vegetables commercial. Now that I think about it.
Oh, is it? Oh my God,
Yes,
it probably
that-
came with the veggies.
Yes, and you promptly defiled this nice piece of furniture a show worked so hard to get you. That's another thing we'll talk about when we're at the grocery store.
Actually, that is a ding, ding, ding. My parents had this desk in our office back when, you had one computer in the house and that was it. So I would have to do my homework there, like do stuff there. And that's also where I did AIM and stuff. Cubby Cake Chick was my screen name. And then, and I don't know why. This is like when I eat my shirt. I don't even know it's happening.
Uh-huh.
But I, at some point, started with marker and pen, kind of like small, like scribbling on the desk, like just a little bit.
Okay.
And then over time, all of a sudden, like the desk is covered.
You just destroyed it.
Yes.
You
yes.
tagged it and then just covered it.
At one point, my dad was like, "What happened here? Like, why is this all drawn on?" I mean, it was a communal desk and I didn't really have an answer.
Oh, that brings me to something else I caught. This was a viral thing.
Oh.
Or someone sent it to me, whatever. It's like a British show, and they put 10 little girls in a house for a week by themselves. They're all like 10.
Oh my God.
And I guess they gave them cooking lessons before they started. And then they just filmed them. And then they put 10 little boys in the house.
Oh.
They had also given them some cooking lessons. Monica, there's just so much to confront
I know about gender.
the reality of those two different situations.
Yeah.
Like by day one of the little girls appointed herself the chef. She knew they all needed to eat. Like 2 were good at consoling the others when they were sad. They created a fashion show.
Oh, wow.
The boys, they never did eat anything other than cereal.
Yeah.
The house it had to be bulldozed afterwards. They did nothing but destroy their environment.
Yeah.
And then they split into 2 warring factions. There was a group of boys that wanted to stay up late that stayed in one room.
Oh.
And then another group of boys, the kind the robot wants to be with, they wanted to go to bed early. But then even there were some boys that couldn't hack it in the loud room, and they were getting kids. So anyways, 2 warring factions. They've destroyed every single thing in the house. They never made anything. No one
Were they
consoled
beating
anyone.
each other up? No, at least.
There was lots of wrestling and stuff. No like real scary, Lord of the Flies beatdowns, but
Yeah.
you're just looking at these 2 groups of humans.
Wow.
And I just have the thought like, man, we're just not designed for this modern world. What are we to do? What are we to do?
Well, look, also boys
They're
less
fucking
mature.
nuts.
Yeah, but they're not mature. Like girls do mature much faster. That's a known thing.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it would have gotten much different if you put a group of 15-year-olds, but I'm nervous it wouldn't have.
No. I think you'd have to take 27-year-old men before it's normal.
Yes, 27-year-old men seem to live in peace with one another and do not destroy their surroundings. But
Barely.
man, the difference between these two households was zero supervision.
I love being a girl.
Yeah. You guys are the good ones.
But then I drew all over that desk, so I do have a lot of testosterone.
Yeah, you're kind of a piece of shit, too. It's interesting. Hey, now.
Be nice to me in 2023.
You have the right amount of piece of shitness. We couldn't be friends if you didn't, to be honest. You need that third dimension. The contradictions, the darkness.
Yeah, sure.
Was that the only fact?
No.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No, I have a lot. Not a lot, but okay.
You got to get these in before your flight lands. They're going to definitely ask you to pack up your recording equipment to prepare for landing.
I would like to try that one day. Well, if me and you are flying together, we could do it.
Absolutely. I mean, the ambient noise of an airplane's pretty overwhelming, but we should try it regardless.
Yeah, it could be fun. Remember, we've done a couple in the car.
Yeah.
So let's just
in
take
Utah,
it up a
we
notch.
did one in the car. That was fun.
Yeah, it was. Okay. Oh, God. We have to clear this up. When did I start booking a lot of commercials?
Debate.
Yes,
of
this
2022.
Luckily, I had my mom here who remembers absolutely everything about everything. She's like a mental phenom with dates. It's very strange. I started booking a lot of commercials in 2016. So I had been in LA for 6 years. I moved to LA in 2010.
This just doesn't jive with me. I get Nimmy in there. Get Nimmy on the flight.
She's upstairs.
Teleport Nimmy to your flight.
That is exactly right. That's the year I booked the Volkswagen commercial.
Okay.
I think it was Volkswagen. And it was a big commercial. It ran a lot. And then I started booking a lot of them. That's the one that was airing when, I don't know if you remember this, but at one point, there's very little Delta, teeny tiny Delta, was jumping around on the couch. And
because she saw Mama on the TV.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, now we're getting into what's a lot of commercials. Because again, Delta was born in 14. When I met you, you were in commercials, several.
Sporadically, though.
And let's remind people that in my 10 years of commercial auditioning, I booked 2.
Right.
MTD lawnmowers and Miller Lite.
I am not saying that I didn't book a lot of commercials in my life. I did. And in fact, I'm really regretting not sticking with that.
Staying in the commercial racket.
SAG insurance. Anywho, so yes, I had booked a couple commercials. Like the first one I booked was the Herbal Essence one. And that was
2012, 11?
No, not 11. No, it was... Let me ask my mom. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me call her. She's upstairs.
Yeah. Tell her bring you a milkshake while you got her on the phone.
She already made me eggs and tea.
Oh my God. No wonder you love it at home. You have a fucking servant. You have a butler.
Mom? Yeah. Mom, what year did I book the Herbal Essence commercial?
2014.
2014. And then the car was in 2016, right?
The car was 2016, yeah.
Okay.
The summer.
Okay, that's it.
Wait, hold on. Tell her to hold
Dax
on.
has a question. Oh, she's gone.
Oh, fuck. Wow. That was probably like stressed out making you a strudel.
Oh, she's calling back. Dax had a question.
Well, I'm now thinking that
Can
America...
you hear him?
No, I'm on your headphones, Dingus.
No.
I don't know how to make her hear you.
You got to repeat what I'm
What's
saying.
the question?
Okay, hold on. Let me hear his question first.
I just want to point out, I don't think America has heard Nimmy's voice.
Yes, they have because David interviewed her.
Oh, right. For the live show.
Yeah. Also,
Okay.
They'll hear it now because it's...
That's my point.
Oh.
Is I love
Okay.
that she said 2014.
Okay, what's your question?
I just tell her I love her.
He doesn't have a question. He just says he loves you.
Love you.
Okay, she's
I love him
laughing.
too.
Oh, wow. She
Oh,
said she loves you too.
See you
Okay,
at Christmas next year.
I feel I'm going to go. Bye.
Yes, you got
Wow,
that great.
I didn't like getting involved in your relationship.
Facilitating this hookup. But listen, so for people who hadn't heard that episode, though, I'm always talking about your mother's accent, and I think I'm glad we heard it.
Anyway, so that's right. 2014 is when I booked the first big commercial, but then it was 2016 that I started booking a lot. So 6 years. You acted like I got here and immediate.
I did act like that. I apologize.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was wrong. I just met you and I was so blown away because I couldn't pay them to put me in commercials.
I know. It's hard to book commercials.
Not for you.
Well,
You've been in 100. I was in 2.
I know,
MTD
but-
Lawnmower and Miller Lite. I am fibbing a little bit because I did do an industrial buyout for AM/PM.
Yeah, exactly.
But it never made it to the airwaves. It played in the corner of AM/PM gas stations. And
That
as you
gets
remember,
a
my
lot of views.
lowest point as an actor ever.
Yeah, hot dog.
Play like a harmonica. All right, now you just pick up that hot dog and you start blowing on it like it's a harmonica, man. Just start jamming. You're like a blues harmonica player.
Oh, God. I'm kind of surprised.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. I'm surprised you chose acting because you are told to do all this dumb shit all the time, and you are so against being told to do something is ridiculous.
Obstinate. I think it goes to show how badly I wanted it.
Yeah.
Like if you want something badly enough, you'll betray everything about yourself. You'll suck that D on that casting couch. You'll do whatever's required. You'll blow sweet music into that hot dog. But fuck, was it burning my soul while it was happening? Like I was having an out-of-body experience while it was happening.
I've been there. Yeah. I've been there.
It's kind of good for you, maybe. Don't you think? It's kind of like going to boot camp. Like they break you down, make you betray all your convictions.
It's good in that I guess you're like nothing will really kill you.
Yeah,
That's
you can embarrass
bad.
yourself. It can be put on film and then play in the corner of a gas station you might frequent and you'll live.
Yeah.
I stopped going to AM/PM once I recorded that. I swear to God, I was like, I used to go in there and they had great deals on hot dogs.
Sure.
AM/PM.
Well, yeah, you can
Famous.
play them like a harmonica.
I don't even know why they needed me to push the hot dogs. They were flying off the shelves. They were like 2 for 79 cents or something.
Well, I guess they were known for that. I mean, I wonder if they'll bring that back.
And thank God they had a term, Sure, they'd love to bring it back now. Like a retro commercial with me embarrassing
amazing.
myself.
How much would they have to pay you to bring that back?
Well, I know how much I got for the buyout. I still remember. $1,200. $1,200.
Well, I know, but now.
Wait, how much to reprise my role and
Yes.
play the hot dog as a harmonica?
No.
Here's the
You wouldn't have to go back as you now, but how much would they have to pay you to just re-air that old one in AM/PM for the next 10 years?
I might let them do it for free. Again, I think it might be good for me. And I start going to AM/PM again to catch it.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I'm that old that like now everything that was embarrassing is just kind of funny that it happened. Maybe I'd have some pride.
Yeah, you should.
I doubt it. I think I'd sear with embarrassment if I saw it.
I want to see that. Not your embarrassment, but I want to see the commercial. You saw
Sure.
a lot of my commercials, so I should be
They were
able to
great
see
though.
yours.
You were always great. You had a lane in commercials. You were like over it, girl, for the most part.
I
You
wonder
were like
why.
eye roll. Yeah.
I wonder how I booked all of those.
Yeah, you were doing things that were very natural to you.
No, I was.
And sometimes you were
Was I?
chipper and cheery. The
Yeah.
VW one, you were kind of like, welcome, let me sell you a car. Monica Padman.
No, no, none of that. None of that's
In
true.
a few short years, I'll be driving a Mercedes.
Oh my God. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding,
Uh-oh.
ding. Fact. Hold on. I wanted to play something for you.
Oh. Not pl-
Can you hear it?
Why can't I hear it? What's going on? Do you have-
Wait, you can't hear it? What happened?
For some reason, I don't know why, but for most of it, I couldn't hear. But then I heard, Yes, Mercedes Boy.
Yeah, I had
What a
never
jam.
heard that
You
song.
had never heard it.
But I'm
Do
going to
you?
play it a lot now.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to get my new husband to come home for Christmas.
Well, think how much
Next year.
action you were getting in your Mercedes at the gas station without even putting out that kind of big advertisement.
I know. You're right.
If you've got the windows down and the sunroof open, warm day in LA, and that's blasting as you pump your gas, do you want to ride in my Mercedes?
Did I tell you I saw there was another armchair at the gas station? Did I tell you that?
No.
Yeah. This one wasn't trying to date me. But he did roll down his window and say he was listening. Also, I have run into so many armchairs here.
In Duluth.
Yes. And it has been so exciting. And guess who I ran into at Crate and Barrel? A armchair, the wife of the guy.
Who told the shit story?
Yes.
Oh my God, he's going to be thrilled. Remember how much he said she loved you?
Yeah.
And he invited you for drinks.
He did. And I ran into her at Crate and Barrel.
No, that's insane.
There's been some other Sims.
Was she lovely?
Yes, she was so nice. It was so nice to meet her. Someone came up at dinner yesterday, also at Madewell. This one was a
What
little
do your parents
embarrassing.
think of this when it's happening? Is
They
it
like
crack
it.
them up? Yeah.
Yeah, they really
they're
like
little,
it.
They're a little girl.
Yeah, when it happened at dinner, my dad, he said he was proud.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, but then I got mad at him. I said, don't be proud of that.
Oh, God, the guy can't win. You were upset he wasn't proud of you before, and now he is.
I don't want him to be proud of the recognition on the streets.
Why?
I don't know why.
Listen, you're not supposed to feel good. You're not supposed to let that fill your tank because it's
Does-
dangerous.
Yeah, so I don't want it to fill
But-
theirs.
No, but it's totally great for a parents
Really?
to have their tank filled by, for sure. Their little girl that they worried about moved across the country, and they were scared.
She
And
stayed
now
drug-free.
she's come home, and people, and in their mind, all the people in the restaurant know who she is and is excited to see her. It's so good. I could cry thinking about it. That's beautiful.
Anyway, I forget. Fuck.
Riding my Mercedes, armchairs, your dad, proud.
Oh, yeah. One embarrassing armchair sighting was I was at Madewell, and this really cute armchair came up, and she said, Monica. And I said, hi. And she said, oh my gosh, we're huge fans. She was with her friend. We're huge fans. My sister saw you here in November. And I was like, oh yeah. And I remembered also a really nice armchair. Then I was like, God, I'm at Madewell too much. It's like, I just
Sure.
felt embarrassing.
You're living your dream.
We're going to Madewell a lot, and
Yes, you loved the mall when you were a
I
kid,
do.
and you love shopping. Now you get to, yeah. Great. You're doing what you love. She died doing what she loved, shopping at Madewell.
Okay. The Tio Alberto's versus Tacos Acapulco.
Okay.
Tio
This is going to go my way.
Well, it was Tio Alberto's. You're right.
Okay.
But then it closed.
Okay.
So then there's another that's called Tacos Acapulco. It says, which is now in the place Tanita's used to be, which I think was literally related to Tio's and has the same vibe.
Oh, okay.
Both are right.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Although I think we were there circa the same time, which was definitely the reign of Tio Alberto's.
But why would she know it exactly the right name?
Because she went back. She went back. She went back.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, she
She's
went
been-
back.
She went back in her late 20s and it changed. And she's like, I guess it was called Taco Acapulco's. Tucas
Okay.
Acapulco. Okay. No tucas mi culo. You know what that means?
No, what's that?
Don't touch my asshole. No tucas mi culo.
Oh my God.
Yes. It's something Brie used to say all the time. It was not because she needed to, just
Because you were always trying to touch her asshole.
no.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
a derivative of a guy that Nate worked with who said really raunchy stuff. It was a busboy.
Oh, you could invite him to your birthday party.
The busboy?
Yeah.
Okay. I would love to.
Yeah. He'll
Yeah.
come.
He used to say to Nate, he would look at Nate when he was working and he would say, nice position.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Nate will tell you he's the perviest human being he had ever met in his life. And he would say, I want to say, how do you say como? Como's to eat, right? He'd say como to culo. He would say, I want to eat your ass to people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, which led to no tucus mi culo from Brie.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Anywho.
Okay, the prop that she was talking about on campus that, people were getting activated was Prop 209, also known as the California Civil Rights Initiative, or CCRI, California Ballot Proposition, which upon approval in November 1996 amended the state constitution to prohibit state governmental institutions from considering race, sex, or ethnicity, specifically in the areas of public employment, public contracting, and public education. Modeled on the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the California Civil Rights Initiative was authored by two California academics, Glenn Custard and Tom Wood. It was the first electoral test of affirmative action policies in North America. It passed with 55% in favor to 45% opposed.
She's not on your flight, is she, Gabrielle? What celebrities are in your flight?
Oh, there's that guy.
T-Pain?
I don't know his name, but you'd recognize him.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
it's like he has like
older
he's
actor?
kind of older. Yeah, he's older.
Yeah. Late 50s, early 60s.
And he's white,
Oh, of course. Yeah.
and he's looks like he's like 5'11".
Oh, that's taller than I thought he was, but
Well, he's sitting. Maybe it's just his torso is
he has
tall.
a really long torso.
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I totally do. Yeah. He was in all those movies.
Okay. 74% of professional athletes are bankrupt within the first year of retirement. Okay, yeah. So in broke, which I think is what maybe you're referring to.
Yeah, the 20 for 20.
30 for 30. Claims that over 70% of professional athletes fall on financial hardship shortly after they retire. It doesn't say within the first year, but statistics show that about 60 to 65% of NBA players go broke within the first 5 years of retirement. 78% of professional athletes in general go broke after 3 years of retirement.
That's conflicting a little bit.
Why? No, because one was NBA players, the other is all professional athletes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I always think about that when I'm watching my my motorcycle sports that I love. All these dudes who race motocross and all these, these ones that are particularly hard on your body.
Yeah.
And you just can't, you're not doing it past 32. And the money was never that great.
Yeah.
Like, it was good. You could have a house and shit, but
Yeah.
You have a shot if you're in the NBA. I mean, even league minimum is pretty solid,
Yeah. I have a sad ding, ding, ding.
Uh-oh.
Yesterday when we were all chatting in the kitchen and it was so nice and everyone was on the same level and we were laughing, my brother said his friend Quaid, who lived down the street when we were young, when Neil was like 6 or 7, I guess, he died in a motorcycle accident.
He did. When?
Like last year.
Mm.
And he just said it like, Quaid, I guess, came up kind of quickly in conversation. He was like, oh, he died. And I was like, oh my God, that's a horrible.
Yeah.
That's horrible. It was so
And then you
sad.
go straight to me, right? You go,
Of course.
Next thought, me.
Yeah. And I hated that.
Yeah.
It's really sad. And Quaid broke his arm at our house.
I never broke my arm at anyone's house.
Well, no, but you got stung by all those wasps.
At school.
Yeah, but then you went to someone's house and they had to take care
My
of you.
house. My house.
No, Clay's.
Clay came over. They let Clay walk me home.
Oh, I thought you were at his house.
No, because my mom came home from work and she came down in the
Right.
base.
And he had put a towel on your
wet
face.
washcloth over my face. Yeah, to ease the swelling, I guess. Or I mean, I probably just couldn't look at it
He didn't
anymore.
want to see you anymore.
Yes, if I were him, I would have covered that up immediately too.
No, but wasn't he holding your hand?
He was rubbing my hand. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, gently.
so sweet.
Yeah, why weren't those two boys in the documentary I saw a clip of in the house?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Clay and I would have made each other macaroni and cheese, and we would have taken care of the place and looked out for one another.
So cute.
I'm not giving
And-
up on boys just yet.
Yeah, but he broke his arm in our house, and he told us for a long time his name was Aaron. And his mom came over one day and said, "Is Quaid here?" And we said, "No."
Yeah,
and
Never heard of him. Get out of here. Pervert.
Turns out he was. Anyway, he broke his arm. My mom panicked. Obviously, she panicked and called 911.
Oh my God. Okay. 911.
I know. Even yesterday when we were talking about this, my brother was like, "Wait, are you supposed to call 911 for a broken limb?" But, now do you see why I want to call 911 when my finger's bleeding out?
Oh, yeah. None of it's, yeah. You come by it honestly,
I do.
Yeah.
And I think
You're doing
I've
pretty good.
made leaps and bounds. Yeah.
Yes. So all we can do is carry the torch a little further.
Yeah. And then now we lost him. I know. Anyway,
Happy New Year.
happy birthday.
Merry Christmas. Happy birthday.
That's probably, I have a couple other facts, but they're not, like, one of them is the stat about the conversion therapy, but that's on the Kevin Bacon episode if anyone wants to hear that. And I don't feel like rereading it. I have it, but.
Yeah. We're
We've
at an
gone
hour and
long.
45. Yeah.
We are not, are we? Oh my God. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Holy
Like, when's the last
shit.
time you
How
had
am I going to
an
edit
hour and
this?
45 minutes go by in 12 minutes?
I know. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it is.
Fuck. I have to edit this.
Sorry. I apologize.
An hour and 45.
For my side of it. But, half of it's your fault, too.
A lot of it is my fault. I can take responsibility. I can take ownership
Okay.
for my part.
Well, I love you,
All
and
right.
I'm very excited about our 36 and 48. What this year, spectacular, excited, can't wait to work.
Me too. And happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
I
Thank
love you.
I love you. Happy birthday to you.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.